Planescape short campaign here on GaryCon Live. It's good to see you all again. Thanks for coming back and hanging with us. This is our second episode. You showed up last week, it was a rerun, and this week we're doing a new episode, as you can see, because we are live. I did have some information that I wanted to let you guys know about. I'm still trying to correlate all of it for the next game session, but I did want to let everybody know that we do have coming up in this campaign. It might be next week. I'll have to double check at the timelines, but we are planning on holding a fundraiser that we're going to let you guys know about to sort of raise funds to help the situation in Gaza with a lot of the horrible suffering that's happening there. We're trying to bring a little more attention to it and maybe raise some funds to help the folks that could really use food, clothes, you name it, everything that's needed over there. So we'll keep you guys posted about when that's happening. Probably going to be in the next week or so. So do tune in and check that out when we do. Don't really have any announcements here off the top. You, of course, all know our beautiful players here. The only thing that I'm going to be announcing here at the beginning is just a quick update to a system that we didn't really get a chance to communicate to everybody in our last game, which is the bits for the Ward Rats system. So bits for rats, y'all. This is the way it goes. Throughout the game, what will happen is that if we ever cross a threshold of kindly bit donations on part of the community that wants to support the stream, every 2,000 bits we get in total, every 2,000 bits that we get gives us 1 point of inspiration for the entire party to use. This does not include inspiration that I, as a GM, will reward players for being a bunch of badasses that they are. Instead, this is community donated inspiration points. Community inspiration points can all be cashed in 3 at a time for a plot point. And plot points let you do some pretty wild stuff. Basically gives the players a little bit of the power of the GM. It lets you manipulate the narrative a little bit and do things like make an NPC appear right when you need them, like Giles did in Buffy. Bam! Hey, you need help. Here I am. A monster turns out to be a long-lost polymorphed ally turned into a hideous beast and is now your pal. A great example, had a plot point been spit, if Shannon had been like, damn, I really just want an adorable unicorn kitten. I'm going to spend a plot point. Bam. That's kind of how that would have happened if that's how it had worked out. The party could get an answer to a vital question that stumped them. So cashing in 3 inspiration points that have been donated by the community gets us a plot point. For every 6,000 bits, if we're lucky enough to get 6,000 bits on a stream, you get all of the previous mentioned stuff, but I will roll 1 random encounter on the streets of Sigil. So it'll be totally up to whatever the book has. The random encounters table, of course, you can find in the Planescape source book. And I will be rolling 2d10 on that and seeing what happens. And if I roll a 100, well, then I roll a 100. And the last is 12,000 bits. If we ever achieve that stratosphere and we hit 12,000 bits, I will activate a boss fight. Because I know how much y'all love to mess with players, and I don't want to deprive you of that. Plus, these players, they're kind of in the mood for some trouble. Judging from the last game, they're kind of in the mood for some trouble. So, if we ever achieve that level, then let violence reign. Okay, so with that in mind, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump in to where we last left off with all of y'all, which was I was commenting on it.
We're already at 3,100, by the way.
We're already at 3,100 bits. Okay, so I have to actually track these. All right, so we have 1 point of inspiration party. Thank you for. Let me. Oh, you know what? That dialogue pop-up isn't appearing this time, but I'm going to pop out my chat channel so that I don't miss it. There we go. Ah, there it is. Sweet. Yes, perfect. 3,000 bit. Okay, that works. Okay, so the last time we left off, the party had been sent to the Hive Ward, which, those of you who are not familiar with Sigil, a Hive Ward is the dangerous, dark, horrible part of Sigil that is where people typically go when they want to be distracted by the fact. Wait, so 2,000, 3,000, 2,000? How many total do we have now? Is that 4, 5, 6? We have 6,000 bits so far. Jesus. Okay. I knew this was going to happen. I knew y'all were going to do this. Okay. So that's going to be 1 random roll, and y'all have 3 points of inspiration.
And Weberjack just asked what the bit milestones, which means that we're about to get a whole bunch more.
Oh boy. Well, okay. So 1 roll, and 3 points of inspiration. So at the very least, y'all are getting juiced up on inspiration points right now. Okay. So, you guys were sent by your fixer, an imp named Nurbib, who has been trying to get you all a bunch of coins. Some of y'all are new to Sigil. Some of y'all have been here for some time. Some of y'all are old salts to Sigil. And Nurbib has been trying to get you guys money, work, that kind of thing. Your first job with him, or rather your first big payday with him, was supposed to be this easy go get information and find out about a drop that was taking place. There's a package, apparently, that a client has hired you all to snatch. You don't know much more detail than that, but it's probably going to involve, judging from the sounds of it, might involve having to mug somebody for it. It's up in the air. But the problem was, where is the exchange happening and when? You needed to go speak to a demon to get that information. The encounter almost went sideways. A fight did break out. There was thievery. There was also the meeting of a beautiful new friend. But in the end, you guys actually managed to peacefully stop the fight, get the information you need, and leave the hive ward before any further bloodletting was to take place. And a remarkable, just hard left turn at Albuquerque, you managed to just completely pull out of a combat, and 7,000 more or 7,000 total? 7,000 more. Friggin' hell, I need to pull out my calculator now. Okay, so 7K on
It's
top of that.
1,200.
1,200. So yeah, we are at 1,200. So then you guys now have 6 inspiration. There are going to be 2 rolls, and there is a guaranteed boss fight. Oh boy. Thank you guys so much for supporting the stream and for absolutely, obviously, both loving and hating our party. Okay, we're at 12K bits. Well done, y'all. So y'all were headed back to Nurbib with your brand new friend, Rain, your cat ally friend who has the magical unicorn horn and has taken to the party quite well and is currently very happily using at least one of you as a perch, as you guys have all kind of managed to make your way back to where Nurbib is waiting for you guys. Now, if I remember correctly, your base of operations is actually it's
Me.
you guys are using your manor, aren't you,
Mhm.
AJ?
Yeah.
So 1 second here. D&D Beyond's being a butt. Does that every now and then. Thankfully, it's not happening on live stream so that people aren't waiting on me because that would be bad.
Yeah. Mimi has a 3-story mansion,
Right.
as you described it,
On the
that
border of
is
the
on the
hive ward.
border of Hive Ward. Yeah,
Right.
and
Okay.
the clerk, whatever
And
the one we're going to next is.
Clerk's ward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you return to your establishment, of course, the rain is still coming down the way it does on some of these mornings here in Sigil, with no explanation of how the weather systems work in this bizarre multiversal center of all the reality. But when you arrive at your estate, stepping inside, kind of shaking off some of the rain and taking coats off, stomping your boots on the front doorstep and whatnot, you can smell the cigar smoke of Nurbib already in your stateroom towards the back where he left last time you all were here. He is waiting for you when you return.
I immediately walk out and pull out a wooden spoon from my sleeve
Okay.
and knock the cigar out of his head.
And then I slop over it and just absorb it into me again.
I told you not in the house.
Oh, the plan was to put it out before you got here. You snuck
Yeah.
in. I forget how quiet you all are sometimes. Well, how'd it go? The imp just kind of like pads down his fine-looking vest. Get the information you need. Is the demon still alive?
Yes, we had a rather short chat with him, and then a little kerfuffle, and then another short chat with him, and we made our way out.
But we get to kill him later, right?
I suppose. I don't.
I believe we're going to kill the other one.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right. He has some sort of affair or dispute with an Ugath. I don't know. He wanted us to kill him.
Which we're going to do, right?
I apologize for my kin. We're pretty predictable and we hold grudges. It's not like you can actually kill the demon. They just get sent back to hell. So it's all very petty, if you ask me.
But
Anyway,
it's a fun kind of petty.
oh,
And I mean, sorry, it's a righteous kind of petty, but it's also fun.
Yes, righteous.
And fun.
I like Grimble better when it comes to these kinds of things. Can you switch back to Grimble, maybe?
No, Grimble is evil and bad.
Mm. All right, enough of this, though. What did you find out? You need to go kill a demon for this demon to get the information you need? Is that what we're looking
Oh
at?
no, we have the information.
Oh yes, quite. He was quite forthgiving with it.
Yes, we know where
Really?
Oguth. You just see Teak just
Who?
kind of
Who?
first like Oguth. We know where to go for the market ward and also the clerk's ward for our upcoming either Oguth or with our previous most important mission.
Right, well,
He didn't want to become friends.
the imp scratches his head a little bit and says, I just didn't figure him for the kind that would be so accommodating. Kind of.
Maybe he's not. Maybe we're just good at our jobs. How about that?
Maybe he enjoys pastries, although I did not give him one.
Well, I suppose.
Pockets of it, that was fun.
Wait. The moment you speak Noctis, you see his eyes fixate on this cat, this little kitten that is sitting on your shoulder and currently just licking her paws and ignoring everything that's happening around. And the imp with the shaking finger just goes, "What in the hell's is that?"
That's my child.
Rain immediately puts her paw down and goes, "Hi." Okay, that's disturbing. That's the most hideous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, there's
It's
no need to be
rain.
rude.
I just can't.
Not just gonna like pull out a dagger.
Oh, I mean, it's quite lovely. I do like the. I mean, look, we both have horns. Hey, nice kinship there. Anyway, so information, right? He gave you the information of where this exchange is happening. I have a meeting with our client this evening to get an update on how things are going. So, my suggestion is go uncover wherever this meeting is happening, get the package that's in store, come back here, and hopefully I'll have some money waiting for all of us, eh? Sound good?
Yes, let's turn that hopefully into definitely, and we shall be on our merry way to scout out this exchange and potentially kill a demon.
Yes, good.
I do need more money because the money I have wasn't enough. The giant rat did not want the money I had.
Giant rat didn't want. Giant rat.
Flirts, it wasn't a rat.
No, you thought he was a rat, so I'm trying to. And then Flebex will come over to you and be like, "The imp's not very smart, so he thought it was a rat." So I'm just telling him he was a rat.
I'm just gonna like very gently pat your gooey little body. There.
Blub, blub.
Sure enough,
It's very satisfying. It's like a little wibble wobble.
it's
satisfying.
absolutely
Like
like
jelly.
petting like a stress ball. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, Nurbib is trying to absorb the information and the bits that he's gotten it, and he says, I don't think any of this is relevant, right? I got that right?
Exactly. If
Right.
there was a rat, I would have caught it. And Teak is slowly consuming a pastry.
Right. 'Cause
Limited
you're
edition red bean paste.
the owlin just sitting over there. Oh, rat? What? Mouse? Okay, in which case, Nurbib says, well, I suppose, Flerbix, if you need an advance, I could give you some coin.
What is an advance?
I sort of like paying against what you're going to be paid. So, whatever our payout is going to be, I can sort of give you a little bit of it now, and then you have some money, but it's paid back.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
How much do you need?
Before you exchange coin to Flurbex, is there any conditions?
Oh, no. I don't do none of that. My cousins do. I'm not a devil. I'm an imp. Keep it simple in my line of
Just
work.
want to check.
Nope.
And
I
also,
appreciate you.
potentially, we should keep the coins here because throwing it at potential new friends is often not the best way to make friends.
Right.
I thought most
Yep.
beings like when you throw money at them.
I
Yes,
wouldn't
but then
mind
they
us-
don't often do what you want them to do if you
You
pay
have to
them
make a swap.
first.
Yes.
Yes.
In my
Yes.
experience, it's rather more polite to place it on a counter or perhaps a tray. Throwing it directly at them implies that they are doing something that is beneath your attention and station.
On a tray. Okay.
You see, as this conversation is unfolding, you see, and this happens typically when the party gets together in these incidents, but you can see the imp is somewhat lost and mesmerized by the constant shifting of the conversation and seems to be losing
Had
the
his like
thread a little bit.
700 transactions.
Yeah, he's
going
just
on at
he's
any
just
time.
staring. Flurby, he's just kind of like, I don't even remember what we're doing anymore. Are we? Oh, go to the clerk's ward, right? Or no, we're in the clerk's ward. Do whatever you got to do. I'm going to stay here. Smoke outside in the rain.
Yes.
And
There's
I'll
a
wait.
perfectly good greenhouse. I've demonstrated to you where you can go.
Really? Oh, right. I'll do that then. Sorry. Excuse me. Imp pops down off the chair and pulls out another cigar from his vest and starts making his way towards the greenhouse in that sort of direction. And if you don't mind, I would love to know, Mimi, what the greenhouse looks like, because when I'm picturing this house, there is a not small part of me, and it could just be because I'm a child of the time, but there's a not small part of me that's picturing the house from Clue without the checkered floor. So like this big sort of abandoned manor, but a little more gothic looking, I guess. So I'm picturing the greenhouse is just filled with like rotting plants and whatnot. But you tell me, what does it look like?
It's kind of like the house from Clue meets Luigi's Mansion 3. Uh,
Excellent.
it's very like colorful and mismatched, and there's dark crevices and corners in unexpected places. And where there probably was more building, it got destroyed in some manner, and instead now like this multicolored glass pane greenhouse has been constructed out of broken old church windows.
Nice.
Repurposed, and inside is just a conglomeration of different plants, some decaying and corpse like, and others very vibrant. And it looks like they've just been stolen from a variety of different people's backyards over time and replanted in this space.
All right.
Is there a secret tunnel that leads from one corner of the house to the other corner of the house?
Of course, there's
There you
too
go.
many secret tunnels.
Okay. We're gonna take real quick. I'm gonna pause just for a second because I'm setting this up. Thanks to our audience, I'm going to do some quick rolls here to find out what our encounter
Random
is going to be.
encounters. Secret tunnel.
Okie dokie. What is that? Oh my.
Random encounter. You find a whole bunch of gold on the ground. Then
Just so
nobody
happens
claims
to be
it.
you find a box filled with rings of 3 wishes, but unfortunately
Yeah,
there's so
nice.
many they rupture
Unfortunately,
down.
Flurbex finds it, does not have fingers, can't use them, and so he throws them out as trash.
Okay. All right. So, with an objective in mind, you've been given information as to where this exchange is going to be happening. To no surprise, the information the demon gave you is that it's taking place, of course, in the Hive Ward. The Hive Ward is kind of where everything happens. Some people like to think that the lower wards are also kind of a place of where the underbelly, but it's always the Hive Ward. Down here, is a place rich with crime and murder and all the other unspeakable things that happen on the streets of Sigil. In a place where demons and mind flayers do back alley deals, you can only imagine at some of the things that go down in this part of the multiverse. This particular exchange apparently is happening in some random alleyway, far away from any of the typical markers that you can find in the hive wards, buried in the back of what would appear to be a collapsed building. Now, Sigil doesn't have many of these. Sigil is actually quite good at keeping things standing where they need to stand. If things are torn down, it is either by design, either the Lady of Pain has decided she wants to mix things up a bit, as she has the ability to literally rethink how the entire districts work and the streets will move, as well as the buildings. She can literally shift things around like pieces on a chessboard. But in this particular case, it looks like rot and decay finally has actually overtaken some of the buildings here. It's also meeting the aesthetic of the hive ward. When you guys arrive on location, you find once again a dreary, gray, rain-soaked street with buildings that look like they're either on the verge of collapse or they are defying all logic. PFM, as we sometimes say, pure effing magic, that they are still standing. Some of them look like they are kind of uh, like an artist didn't finish drawing the side of the building, and it's just left incomplete, standing at positions in situations of architecture that probably resemble something like a Dr. Seuss fever dream. When you guys arrive here, you can see that some of these buildings are actually leaning against one another to actually stay standing. The alleyway you're looking for is pretty easy to spot based off of the marker. There is supposedly a broken sign pointing, street marker signs that pointing which way you go for the clerk's ward, the hive ward, and so on. In this particular case, one of the street signs has long since been broken off, gnawed off from the looks of it. So it's easy enough. But what I'm going to do is to make sure that things unfold correctly and that you have assessed the information correctly, I'm going to ask anybody here, if you would like, you can either make a perception check at disadvantage, or if you have the ability to use navigation, or you have any navigation tools or anything like that, you can make an intellect roll and roll to that as well.
So it's perception at disadvantage. Otherwise,
Perception is at disadvantage. Well, actually, hold on one sec, Quincy, because you. Oh God, I forget. Sometimes I forget that in the Planescape setting, so many of you already have things to kind of get around this setback. Quincy, if I remember correctly, I'm going to look at your character sheet real quick, because I'm pretty sure Silvio has. No, you do. Do you? You do have dark vision, right? What do you have? Do you have low light or dark vision?
I'm a dragonborn. I don't remember if they have special vision.
I don't see.
Dragonborns don't. Dragonborns
Yeah.
don't have dark vision.
I have dark vision.
You have dark vision. I know that
I
you
do
have
too.
dark vision. Yeah, and you have low light, right? Shannon?
No, that's not a thing in 5e.
Oh, that's right.
I think
I'm
just
sorry.
dark vision.
It's all just dark vision.
I have dark
It's
vision.
all just
too.
dark vision in 5e.
It's all
I
just
have
dark
Yeah.
vision.
I have dark vision.
I have dark vision for 120 feet.
Okay, great. Never mind. Okay, let me put it this way. If you have any kind of dark vision, you can roll without the disadvantage. I'm calling for. I'm so lost in my 3.5 days still.
Mimi, on the way there or just before
Mhm.
going there, because we took a short rest, gets into a bit of a heated argument with seemingly someone in her head, and or a ghost that she can see. Because I can be taught new skills and tools by dead people. And so I get into a heated argument with someone who teaches me navigation skills, and so I'm going to
Okay.
switch out my tool proficiency for navigation tools before we head out.
Excellent. Okay. In which case,
And that is why, Philip, I shall take the compass and do what I like with it.
all right. She apparently is having a pretty heated discussion right now as you all are all approaching this alleyway. So Noctis, you are definitely going to spot that this is the correct alleyway. Noctis with a Flurbex, I guess that makes sense. You're a druid, so perception is kind of your game. So you and Noctis really are going to be the ones that, as you're approaching, Noctis, with you live around the edges of the criminal underbelly. You have a natural instinct of knowing when this just doesn't feel right. You already knew you were walking into a situation where there was an exchange happening, so there's likely going to be some, BS going down here. But as you're approaching the alleyway, it's just that sixth sense that starts causing the hairs in the back of your neck to stand up. Even Rain kind of stiffens a little bit and looks at you and goes, "Something's wrong, huh?" She's looking around. Flurbex, your ability to perceive things that most fleshy people can't truly understand, as you're kind of plodding along, your instinct immediately alerts you to impending danger as you guys are approaching this alleyway. It's not that sense that you're about to walk into something that's going to get you into trouble. You just have that natural, perhaps it's that connection to druidic magic or the primal forces. You just have this instinct. As I like to describe it, you very much suddenly feel like a gazelle that is sensing a lion nearby in one of the bushes. It's kind of that feeling you get.
Hey, this is dangerous. We need to be on high alert. This one, because it's a dangerous place. This place.
How close are we to the alley now?
I would say y'all are about within spot. Well, because you guys made a successful perception check with these two characters, I'd say you're about 80 feet from the mouth of the alley. So well out of any kind of danger zone of being leapt out at least from the alleyway.
Slimy
And
senses. My
Noctis-
slimy senses are tingling.
Slimy senses.
I want to kind of slink into the shadows and scout ahead.
Okay.
With an 11, Teak is enjoying another pastry, which I've taken off of my inventory, and is
Nice.
the neck is on a swivel, but the swivel is looking for other bakeries.
Okay. Just as a quick reminder, because as we get deeper into the narrative here, into the story, it's easy to forget. I do it all the time. Don't forget that you guys currently are sitting on 6 points of inspiration. So the party has 6 points. All right,
And we're gonna need it.
I'm gonna have Noctis, because Noctis has decided to scout ahead. So Noctis, go ahead and roll me a stealth check. Actually, I'm gonna have you roll with advantage on this because it is dark and rainy outside.
Rainy, extra rainy.
Well, I mean, 21 wasn't good enough for you, huh, Shannon? You had to go for a 26. All right.
Did we bring the glowing kitty with us?
She is technically on Noctis, but she can stick around with anybody else if Noctis wants to creep up ahead and not draw any attention.
I think I will scoop up the kitty as you go into the shadows.
She immediately just
Grandma.
she flops over on her back like a baby and cups into your hand,
Okay.
deliberately acting obnoxiously cute. Like that for some it'll work spectacularly, and for others it'll be really annoying.
Before I go, I'm just gonna give her a little scratch under the chin.
She does the sticks her chin out and kind of enjoys every second of it.
I gesture with my other hand that isn't holding a ridiculously cute kitten up to the rooftops, just being like,
Are you doing that towards Teak, who can fly?
yeah,
right.
Take's looking for pastries, so I think I nudge you.
Yeah.
Eyes in the sky,
Oh.
Teak? Eyes in the sky? No?
Yes, I am very invested in everything that is going on, and I was on the same page as all of you. Then Teak launches off stealths to be an eye in the sky.
I have pastries for later.
Okay.
Nice.
I will see everything and tell you everything that happened.
You'll
Yes.
get advantage on a perception check. But first, real quick, with startling skill, Noctis goes about as quiet as falling snow and ducks down low. She pulls her hood up and just stalks into the shadow right in front of all of you. With grace and speed, you dart up ahead, Noctis, stepping over cobbled stones and strange substances that you don't want to linger on. When you get to the mouth of the alleyway, you are immediately kind of comforted by the fact the alleyway is apparently most of it is built on this stone that is causing an echoing effect. Like it's easy to hear into the alleyway. And as you creep up onto the corner, you catch both a smell that is unusual as well as hearing harsh whispering. You listen as closely as you can, and with a 26 on your stealth check, you are completely undetected. Make me another perception check, if you would, please. 16. Okay. So creeping up to the side of the wall, you just kind of hunker down and listen closely, empty your mind for a sec, and start piecing things together as best you can. But two things. You catch this odor that smells a lot like mulch, like dead, rotting plant. Kind of just, it's not necessarily a wretched smell, but it's that kind of smell when you're too close to mildew kind of smell, where it almost pinches the sinuses a little bit. You're like, The voices, there's two of them. They're talking, speaking to each other in hushed, harsh tones. What languages do you speak, Noctis?
I think it's just infernal.
Well done.
And oh, is it just infernal?
They're talking in infernal.
Nice.
You can hear the harsh language. The thing about infernal is it always sort of infernal is such a unique language. It always just feels like there's hate behind every word. And you can hear two voices, difficult to make out what they are, but one of them is saying, "This is where they're supposed to be. Why have they not arrived yet? Don't know. Sister, wait over there. I shall create something here that will distract them. Yes, they will stop them." They're whispering back and forth.
Okay, so this sounds like an ambush to me, potentially. So I think I'm gonna slink back to my friends.
Okay. While that's happening, if I could get our Owlin to make me a perception check as you're flying overhead. Well,
wait, you said with advantage, right?
Yeah, you get advantage.
Okay, so let's do that again. That was not what it was.
Also, if you ever, yeah, that works. If you ever want to roll with advantage or disadvantage, whatever modifier you're about to click on in D&D Beyond, if you right click, it'll bring up a menu for critical hits, advantage, disadvantage, and all that good stuff. So, this totally works though. So 18. The next thing I'm going to have you roll, if you could please, is a stealth check, and this one is going to be contested.
Okay. I'm gonna switch to doing. I was doing it on my tablet before, and that was where I got the ones from before. So let's.
If you need advantage on this, we've still got 6 inspirations.
That is true.
Yeah, and I have 2 personal inspirations and 1 plot point from last time. So
yeah,
I would love to do advantage on this since I don't think I'm going to be rolling well this session.
Alrighty. Go ahead. Marquis is already anticipating some BS from the dice roller. All right. So yeah, go ahead and you'll spend a personal point of inspiration and go ahead and make that roll.
Okay. So I'm going to do, I clicked it onto advantage. Thank you for that right click. I did not know.
Yeah.
Did I just get a nat 20?
You did. Okay. So that's your stealth check. That's the best pot. I'm gonna roll for them, but I don't see it happening.
Hell yeah.
They have a pretty awesome.
It's the pastries, I'm telling you.
Power of the pastry, y'all.
It's good motivation.
Power of the pastries. I've got 4 left. So.
Yeah, you were not spotted. So your perception check, you see. Ooh, I guess the next thing to have you roll would actually be Arcana.
Okay.
Just to find out if she is able to understand what it is, or he's able to understand what it is.
She, they, but
She,
or
they?
he, they. I'm sorry. He's he, they.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If he wants
you had it. You nailed it.
If he wants to see if he can understand what he's. Okay, with a 13, I'll give you this. You see two figures standing in the alleyway, and they are indeed positioning themselves off to the side like they are waiting for somebody to be foolish enough to enter said alleyway. But they look like they're probably about human size, but judging from their attire and the way they are moving, they look like they might be demon in nature. They're dressed in these heavy looking ritualistic rags that are kind of cloaking their bodies. They have these long, almost abnormally long arms, long, abnormally long fingers and fingernails, dark black hair. You can see the telltale signs of like dark horns curling up about the sides of them, but clearly are saturated in what looks like arcana or like magical trinkets and whatnot dangling off of their necklaces and hips and whatnot. You're pretty sure you see a couple of skulls on like their belts as they're lingering about. But seeing them from overhead, this is about how much you get. Looks like they take positions around the side of the alley, like they're waiting for somebody to come in.
May I do an insight check on their what looks like their intentions are? Because I haven't talked to Noctis, so I don't know for certain.
Sure, go ahead. Make a roll.
In the meantime, Mimi is just pouring tea out of like a thermostat for her and the remaining gang that are like hiding.
Yeah,
80 feet away from this.
I've slopped off to it. I've slopped off to a nearby alley, and I'm just like rummaging through trash.
Celine takes the tea before she remembers she doesn't have a flesh body anymore, so she just
I replace it with
looks at
oil.
it sadly. Oh, okay. She's and drinks it, and then gives you the cup back and just a sort of respectful nod.
In which case, let's see what your roll was for that insight check.
19.
Okay, Teak, they are here to murder somebody or somebodies. Both of them. They're waiting for somebody's.
They're down for business.
Yeah, they are positioning themselves because they don't mean well. That much is clear to you. It
And
kind of speaks
tactically,
to that instinct you had when you were coming to the alley where you're like, something's off.
yes, even through the pastries, Teak knew all.
Mhm.
So tactically speaking, then they're positioned facing the same way that we were about to come into.
Yeah.
Were there any side doors or anything in that alleyway
Yep.
that I would have noticed? Something besides the opening that we were looking at, and then what might be the other side of the alleyway?
Not really. It looks like it's just a bunch of rubble. So not doors, but definitely like broken halls and holes in the sides of buildings.
Got
Also
it.
a ton of razor vines, which to give you just a quick heads up, razor vines are the only indigenous life of Sigil. They are plants. They grow up around buildings when they're untamed. The leaves of razor vines are, as you can imagine, not healthy. Excellent if you just want to have a pure chaotic surgery on yourself. But not so much if you don't want to just get sliced and diced by running into a field of flowers.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in their name. It's not like cuddly
Yeah.
vines.
Razor vines, and razor vines have variations as well. So sometimes it's not just a simple razor vine. Sometimes it's a razor vine that actually wants to reach out and touch someone. So
Okay. Teak is going to head back to the party.
okay.
And if I can, like, give a very tactical, strategic, he's changed his frequency into we're about to go into combat and relaying this information to everybody as he's protecting his pastries.
Protect pastries.
Yeah, as he takes them off of his little pack, and he's telling everybody exactly what he saw and the badness that these individuals are planning on. And he kind of puts them under. He finds a rock and he puts a rock on top of it, like that will cover it.
I'm sure it'll be safe there.
Yeah. That's a nature thing.
I open my bag of holding and then I just close it. Like, okay, the rock is fine.
What were you saying, Noctis?
Noctis just looks at Tegan and was just like, where do you keep getting these pastries? How many do you have?
I have 4. I have 4 left, and and this rock will guard them with its life.
Like that you're keeping track of pastries the way, like, as if these are like spell elements,
Spell
or
elements,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
Spell
you have to
slot.
keep careful
Pastry
track of the
slot.
pastries.
It
Makes
was
sense.
very unfortunate. The bakery burned
Bakery
itself
burnt
down.
Yeah.
There was nothing to be done.
So
As I
what we're saying is not only is it an ambush, but potentially it's an ambush for us. Is this a trap?
I believe
That's
that
kind
they are
of the
specifically.
vibe Noctis got, for sure.
how do we know how many people they think we are?
The little autonome's gonna pull out her sword and be like, "Not enough."
Well,
Are we
I'm just
killing them?
thinking. Well, I'm just thinking as I sip on the tea and then prestidigitate so that the top floral notes are a little bit more fragrant. So I take a sip. I do that to make sure, like, and then continue. Well, if they don't know how many people are ambushing, what's to stop one or two of us from going, "Oh no, you've ambushed us," and then suddenly the rest of us
and then race around them and jump. Yeah.
precisely, Slowbacks.
If
A
anyone
reverse
else,
ambush.
if anyone else wants to go from above, I was going to do that above and behind.
I can do that.
I can go straight in the front. I mean,
I can sneak in above them and drop on them. Flobex can absorb them, and then they can't ambush because they're inside me.
I will go above and behind as well.
Is anyone else doubting that Flurbex can climb a roof stealthily? Or is it just me?
Am
Well,
I,
if they
am,
don't
I
follow
big
the
enough,
Climb.
am I big enough to carry Flurbooks and like
You
while I fly?
you don't need to. We've been together for a couple months. You've seen that Flobex can spider climb up walls essentially.
Got it.
Well,
And
so long as they don't follow the
I'm not stealthy. I got decent stealth.
so long as they don't follow the mucosoid trail crawling
Yeah.
up, they shouldn't be.
Well, yes, let's send the autonome in first.
But then they ambush.
I can take it.
Yes, and then we jump them.
Oh,
Maybe I should
Okay.
accompany yourself at the ground level. One person seems an odd amount for them to be ambushing, but a duo. Perhaps that's who their target is.
true.
Noctis is gonna find a way to get to the back entrance and
Okay.
approach from the back.
All right.
But,
So it
but
sound-
should we look like we're sneaking so they don't know that the jig is up?
Yes, good point, Celine.
Or perhaps I can say, yes, just the two of us, our party of two. Let us go find the thing we are trying to find. That will
Yes,
trick them
embrace
into
your-
thinking.
Embrace your thespian, Silvio.
Now, I didn't study in the theater arts. I took choir and viol.
Of course you did, yes.
Flebex will just head over to Sylvia and just like spit out a silver spoon that he's just found in the trash,
Okay.
and just like drop it to your feet, just in case it's good for you. You like these, right?
Good one, $4.
It has a.
Thank you,
it's a-
Flerbex, but I've been told I was born with one of these in my mouth.
It's relatively nice, and it has an M engraved on the handle.
All right.
Yeah, Teak looks expectantly at Mimi. I believe pastries were promised.
Of course, dear.
I love it when players bring props.
This is
I
my my put on a cross bun. Get it? Because we're about to fight demons.
Thank you, Mimi.
Okay, so it sounds like y'all have the makings of a plan. So we're gonna start with real quick because it's gonna be the most intensive. I'm gonna start with Noctis trying to sneak behind the encounter so that when everything hits the fan, you guys can enact the plan. So Noctis, this one's gonna be a little trickier. So you're gonna be rolling against them this time. So you're gonna make your stealth check.
Take one of the advantages.
You certainly can if you want to.
Yeah.
Spend one of the
I might
advantages.
use inspiration. for
All right,
this.
that's down. Y'all are down to 5 points of inspiration. Thank you again, community, for. We should come up with a nickname for our viewers. Should we just call them? They're fans of the Ward Rats. We just call them
Yeah,
Rats,
the-
maybe. But that'll
They're
entice
rat- they're-
Marquia's character, so maybe we shouldn't.
They're ratties.
Ratties. Stealth check of 20. Nice. Okay, community, you tell us what you want to be called. Okay, so stealth check of 20. Let me roll.
The Rat Pack sounds obvious here, but
It
Oh,
does
that's
sound a
really
bit.
good though.
Shh, do you want to get sued? All right, let's see. Rolling against Shannon's outrageous stealth check. They do not seem to be aware of you. At one point, one of them, as you were creeping through some of the rubble, as you were moving over some of the stones, one of them you can see, first of all, the way they hunker down in the stonework of these buildings is, you got to give them props because it looks like they too know how to be very sneaky. One of them stiffens a little bit, like they think they hear something, and they just lean forward, just start sniffing the air for a second. The other one looks to see if we are onto something. The two of them look around for a bit, and they settle again. I rolled a 19 against your 20, so they almost spotted you. But you continue to move through. Okay, so while that is happening, I'm also going to need you, Shannon, to make me a dexterity saving throw. So you should see your saving throws in your character sheet. You should just click the dex part, and it should roll for you. All right. Did you make that dex save?
Mm-hmm. It got 19.
19. Oh, why didn't it update? Oh, yeah, you did. Oh, you're fine. So when you were moving around the broken rocks and stones, as you were slipping over them, you stop for a second because you see your hand is literally about to slide right into a nest of razor vines. You pause, move around that carefully, stepping over. You see now, though, Noctis, what you're starting to realize is this entire alleyway is just rich with razor vines. A lot of the shadows that are being cast here is because the entire place looks like it's overgrown. It's easy enough for you to step between the two of them, but you're starting to get a picture of that tactical nature of how dangerous this might be for everyone if they get into a fight in this alleyway. At this point, though, you're already behind the encounter, so you're removed from your party, and you kind of settle in and wait. Not being stealthy is the mighty Autonome, who starts to approach the mouth of the alley. And everybody else is setting up where exactly as she is about to make her advance into the mouth of the alley to declare herself?
I was going with her. It was the intention.
Okay, so the two of you are side by side, and the rest of you are just kind of getting ready to flank.
I'm
I
going.
think that the rest
I'm
of us
setting-
are roofing
Right,
it.
Yeah,
right?
Rebecca's
I'm
on
setting
the
off.
roof.
I'm setting off up, spider climb up the wall, and just
Okay.
be ready to drop down on them from above.
Okay, cool. So you,
Teak has taken flight, stealthing again to be above, coming down.
okay, cool. So how far? So just because I don't want to get tangled up in the mess of Theater of the Mind distance, if combat were to break out, how far away would you guys place yourself? Now, if you're on the roof, if you're depending on the roof is about 80 feet up. So if you're good with that,
Oh. I'm 20 feet.
okay, so
20,
you could be
20 feet above them, stealthing.
okay, cool. So you're basically kind of putting the houses a little bit between you so you don't get noticed, but you're still within range that if you need to act, you can get there fast enough. Mostly is what I need to know. Okay. So with that, everybody gets set up in a tense moment as things get really quiet with just the sound of the rain spattering against these broken rooftops in the center of the multiverse. As Celine, you and Silvio, the two of you approach the mouth of this bleak-looking alleyway.
And Celine's taken the lead, but she's tiny, so I don't think she's too much of a shield for Silvio. But
Yeah,
she's trying her best.
You're 3 feet of metal gnome, correct?
Yeah, about that. I am a small creature.
What weapon are you wielding?
Oh, I have my big shiny sword out.
Okay, two-handed?
Yes.
this gnome just dragging around this hulking sword on her shoulders as she just comes.
Yeah, it's a moon touched great sword, so I
In
assume
which
it's kind of dim here, which so it is casting
it is
bright light.
casting a glow. You are basically a light bright as you're walking into the center of this alleyway. Are you actually entering the alley? Or are you going to stand at the mouth of it? What is your plan?
I'm gonna stand at the mouth and look like I totally have no clue what's going on, and I'm sort of like using the sword to like
Right.
give myself like peering in.
Okay. You see the movement of the shadows, and without needing to roll, you too, Celine, are now seeing what Noctis has seen. This place is lousy with razor vine. Looks like it's grown up over a lot of the stones and rocks and whatnot. It's completely covered the floor. So it looks like a lot of the collapse of the building, either the razor vine has just claimed this place or it was one of the causes for the eventual collapse.
I'm also going to use divine sense, so I see if I can detect any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet,
Okay.
just to get an idea. She knows something's there, but to get an idea of what they might be up against.
So you focus your divine energies for a moment, reaching out and looking for those things that are antithetical to everything you believe in. And sure enough, yes, within 60 feet of you are two demons. They're two fiends that really, really honestly seem to think that you don't know that they're there, but you sense their presence.
Only two though, so that's good.
in a
We're not
sh-
being ambushed by more than that.
In a shouted whisper, I go, I think this is the way. I think the two of us can handle this.
I mean, we might count as 1.5, because I'm so small and not very useful. But well, we can do it, right?
I say, now don't sell yourself short. In fact, I believe that your spirit is much bigger than any challenge to come, and I give you one bardic inspiration die.
Yay!
In case we need that first strike to be real good.
And Celine knows this is part of the show that they're putting on, but there's still like a little tiny glint of oil around one of her eyes, like maybe those words really meant something to her.
I mean, it means at least 1d6 of whatever you want to add it to. So,
well, shall we go in then and see what we're up against?
how do we bide our time to make sure everyone else is in place?
Yeah, well, that's probably crossing your mind right now, Silvio, because you're like, oh wait, how do we coordinate this?
Flurbex is in a pretty good position to see when people are around because Flurbex is kind of bird's eye view over everyone, even the literal bird.
I would say make a perception check.
All right,
It's not going to be too difficult to keep your eye out for Teak because Teak is dipping in and out of sight where you are.
Yeah.
But Silvio, if you would make a perception check, please. It's too dark and rainy. The two of you actually are not getting a good look at where the other is right now. The timing feels right. You guys should roughly be. I mean, you do know that Flurbex moves incredibly fast when it comes to climbing walls with that spider climb.
And the what's it called? Razorvine. The Razorvine that's like preventing movement in the alleyway, like it's in the way, or is it just up the walls?
It is making the terrain difficult, and it is also causing some dexterity saving throws when you move through it, as Noctis has learned. But where you are, you're okay.
Flurbex is going to basically kick things off. They feel like people must be in position by now, and so Flurbex up on the roof is kind of like just slowly slopping off the edge, and then they're starting to bubble and grow, and like they're changing their pH within themselves, and they're growing this like ball, this huge pseudopod bubble like thing that grows out of them, and then just falls as a 5-foot diameter sphere as I cast Corroding Sphere. and then it just falls to the ground, like tumbling, and this ball of acid is burning its way like a path down the side of the wall that I'm on, aiming directly for the fiends that are directly below me. I'm going to drop a ball of acid on them.
Get ready, because this is going to come as a bit of a shock, but I need you to roll initiative.
What? Crazy.
Because you guys actually did not get surprise. They did to
Good
you what you were plotting to do to them. There is a third one that you catch just as you're dropping, Flurbex. Just as you're dropping off the scene, you see the glinting eyes of one of these things in the dark reaching out for you. Go ahead and make an initiative roll. If you guys all just go ahead and chime into combat here, before you roll initiative, I'm sorry, before you roll initiative real quick, as you guys are all jumping into combat. Oh, I see that I see already a couple of rolls, and that's fine. But just as you're all jumping into combat here, oh, you know what I was going to ask? If somebody wants to, real quick, if somebody wants to take control of Rain, that is an option. Or if you want, I can roll Rain for you guys, whichever you prefer.
I think Rain should get free will.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just add Rain to the combat here. Because
A minor note.
What's up?
This doesn't affect whether we notice someone initially, but for mechanical purposes, I do have a rapier of warning. And the specific is you and your companions within 30 feet can't be surprised unless you're incapacitated by something other than non-magical sleep.
Right. That's why you're getting an initiative roll.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you are surprised for the first round of combat, you guys are well, I mean, technically you still roll initiative, but like basically the first round of combat you wouldn't get any actions, but in this case you guys kind of snuck up on each other, so it's actually a straight up fight with this thing. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to pull up Rain's stats here. I posted those in our Discord chat. Good on me.
Do you want us to roll initiative in the meantime?
Let me oh, you know what, yes, you can totally roll initiative in the meantime.
Yeah. And Eric, I'm wondering, because I did get that nat 20 on stealth before, that maybe I'm the one character that they definitely don't know is there.
I would probably leave that to their dice roll of initiative. If they roll high, then I would say then yeah. So let's see. So Rain is nothing to sneeze at. So Rain is technically a challenge rating 5 NPC, so nothing to sneeze at. Let's see. Rain, who has 50 and then 15, and Rain is good to go. So let's roll for initiative. Cool. So yeah. So Flurbex and Celine, go ahead. Oh wait, what were your initiatives? Flurbex, you got a 17, right? Is that it? And then Celine, what was your initiative?
20. Dirty 20.
Okay. Oh, they tied with Celine, and they're actually going to beat you and go first. All three of them.
Oh no.
Okay.
When a 19 is not high enough.
Yeah. Welcome to D&D. So, Flurbex, just as you're descending, the first one, which was lurking almost invisibly on the side of the wall, also spider climbed, like using fingertips, touched up onto the side of the wall. They look a little surprised to see you dropping out, but are able to react. But as you just come plopping down in front of them, they're going to use their action to try to get an attack on you.
And this is before I get off my corroding sphere, yeah?
Yeah. But
Sweet.
I'm gonna use a narrative twist on this a little bit, because they're literally hitting you as you're falling. So I'm not.
To be clear, I was staying up on the Flurbex's main body was staying up on the roof, and I was casting corroding sphere.
Oh, I see. You were using a narrative.
I was dropping a ball of acid.
Oh, okay. So you're up above. All right, that's fine.
I'm on the roof. Yeah.
Okay, cool. In which case, what is their movement rate?
I'm on the roof.
Okay,
but I'm
so they're going to use.
Sphere. Oh, so is the third guy not up on the roof with me?
No, the third guy was up on the wall. Was
I thought,
perched underneath. Right. So they're going to move.
Actually, and he was perched on the wall beneath me. That's funny.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, you were literally directly above them.
Yeah, right.
So they are going to have to make a dex save because they're moving through razor vines. They succeed. They're going to get right up. This just comes right up in front of you. Flurbex, if you want to make an Arcana check, I'll also allow a nature check here.
Oh, nature would be, I think, the same. Yep, that would be the same.
ahead and
A
make
lovely
nature.
-2 on that. So that's a total of 4.
You have no idea what they are, but they are clearly
Oh,
demonic,
some sort of
whatever
bad
they
guy.
are, as they pop up in front of you. And as they emerge, they say something infernal that's not really repeatable. And
I do
they're,
speak Infernal.
yeah, they're
So I
basically
understand what they say.
throwing curses and hateful.
Oh,
things
that's
at you.
not nice.
All right, so they're going to swipe at you with their nails, and that is going to miss if I'm not
AC
mistaken.
17.
Oh yeah, they're not going to hit a 17. The nails just slash the air right in front of you. They're a little arrogant in thinking that they can just rip you apart with one swipe, but they know better now. The two down below, however, they both emerge at roughly the same time, and the first one points directly at you, Celine, and utters a word, and I'm going to need you to make a saving throw.
Remember, you have a bardic inspiration if you need it.
Yep, you're going to need to make a saving throw, and this is, what is the DC on the save here? Okay, so go ahead and make a charisma save, please. This is like one of your strongest saving throws.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a constitution save, not charisma. That's okay.
Constitution, I'm going to use the bardic inspiration.
Bardic
You're allowed to
inspiration.
wait till after you roll for the bardic inspiration,
Oh.
just so you know.
Yeah.
But before Eric says what happens.
Well, that was a nat 1, so
Oh no!
yeah.
Maybe don't waste the bardic inspiration on it unless you got a real good con.
Oh
mod.
dear.
No, I only have a +1 con, so
A black beam of innervating energy
Gonna-
springs forth from the finger of the creature, making a spell. It's on a hit, the target deals only half damage with weapon attacks that use strength until the spell ends. You have been rayed of enfeebled. This black energy ray just immediately strikes you and remarkably makes it past the resistances of the paladin that's at the end of the alleyway. So now you're doing half damage with your.
Yeah, and I'm resistant to poison and immunity to disease and advantage against being paralyzed or poisoned, but that doesn't count for any of those.
No,
So
it's necromancy, but that's about
Yeah.
it. But basically, it just says you saps your strength for 1 minute or until the spell ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just some rust, I think, grows or something, and demons.
Yeah, you can. It's an interesting sensation because Celine, you've felt the effects of spells like this before, back when you had a physical, like fleshy form. Feeling it in this new metal body is a very unique sensation. It's simply your limbs are not responding as quickly as you want them to, and it's very frustrating at first. You're just like, I got to adjust. That's going to be that one's action, and then the third one, who is looking directly at Silvio, is going to do the same thing. Silvio, if you could please roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh man, I was hoping they would like try to hit me. Okay, let's see here. Con save. Before I roll this con save, one, we have inspiration left over from last session, right? Personal.
Yeah.
And then for inspiration's applicable to saving throws as well, to just give them advantage if necessary.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you can spread. Also, I just as a quick reminder, I did incorporate a new rule with inspiration as well. For the inspiration that's given to you guys by the audience, you can spend those points of inspirations to instantly get the benefits of a short rest, which is pretty powerful. It basically lets you spend a hit die to heal up. And if you've got any abilities that'll regenerate on a short rest, which like warlocks and stuff like that typically do, you'll gain access to them. It's a pretty powerful spend.
Unlimited wild shapes.
Yeah.
For now, I will use my personal inspiration and roll con save with advantage.
Okay.
A lot of good that did.
Oh boy, you just got rate of enfeebled. You feel that black necromantic energy just course through you. You can feel the atrophy in your muscles as the magic saps your life force, and you kind of stumble a little bit. That is going to be their action. Next up,
Once again, mechanically, what does that do? Like it
mechanically,
reduces, like, strength or
it deals basically on make a ranged spell attack on a target on a hit. The target deals only half of only half damage with weapon attacks that use strength.
Wait, hold on. That was a
That was
it was a
range.
rolled attack.
No, it's just a saving
Saving
well,
throw in your
hold
That's what I
on.
thought.
Actually, no, hold on. You may have corrected me. Raven Feeblement might actually be a ranged spell attack.
Usually the razor.
You might be right. Let's see.
Oh yeah, it's make a ranged spell attack.
It's a ranged
against
spell
the
attack.
target.
If it was
Actually,
ranged spell attack, I would have
let's
had
pause.
reactions.
Let's pause because that means I have to roll to actually hit Celine before she ever has to make a saving throw, and Celine's AC is nothing to sniff at.
Yeah.
So-
Also, I have stuff that can deal with attacks, but not like the
Okay,
auto
saves.
saves.
Okay, so they're still going to hit you, Celine.
Of course. They hit the AC 18.
Mm-hmm. They're still going to hit you. And let's see. Because if you guys want to know why this is so like brutal, it's because the audience gave me a boss fight to throw at you guys. So
Yep.
and an encounter, and as it turns out, I rolled an encounter that was worth a boss fight. So, and what's your AC, Silvio?
It is 13. However, again, I have actual reactions for if it's a
Yes.
attack roll.
If you want to penalize their attack roll, it's worth it right now because I hit you on a 14.
Well, thanks for telling me the specific amount.
Yep.
Because I believe a cutting words.
Nice. Yeah.
We'll use a bardic inspiration,
That'll do it.
and then
You only need a
and then
1,
reduce
so
by
it'll
2.
work.
Okay, great.
13 will still hit. 13.
Oh, that's true. So you do need to roll. That's right. You need to roll.
You
a
need to roll a
better.
2.
A 2. Okay, I'll just pull it from the generic die thing,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't
Yeah,
have a button for this. Okay.
Celine, by the way, at the end of your turn, you'll be able to make a Constitution save to shrug off the effects. So once we resolve this,
All right.
there you go. Okay, so you managed to resist the magic of the necromancy that's about to slam into your body and sap your life force away. You don't feel those weakening effects settling in, but it was a close one. Celine,
I guess because I see it coming, I go, what's a good cutting word for this? 50-50. I don't like those odds, and frankly, you shouldn't either.
all right. That's going to bring us to Celine's turn. So at the end of this round, you're going to get to make another con check. But for now, what would you like to do?
Well, she may be weakened, but she's still full of righteous fury, even more so now because it touched her with gross beams.
Mhm.
So she is going to charge in with her greatsword, and she's going to take a swing at the closest one.
Okay, so they're about 30 feet into the alley, and
Mhm.
you are moving through razor vines, which are difficult terrain.
Oh,
That's
okay.
gonna split your movement down to 15, and you're going to need to make a dex save.
Okay, then I scratch that. I thought I was thinking the razor wire was on the walls.
It's all over the floor of the alleyway. It's grown up all over the rocks. Plus, there's rocks. But you can, if you want to move that 30 feet to move your way in, you'd still pretty much at this point, Celine, you're able to suss out that no matter what happens, if you plan on getting up there and making and introducing them to the business end of your sword, you're gonna need to probably traverse these razor vines no matter what.
In that case, she's going to sort of reach into herself and see if there's things she can do from a distance, and then this look of confusion passes over the face of this autognome as the little paladin, lets out an eldritch blast.
Calling upon the eldritch gifts of some ancient far off power. All right, so make an attack. Roll for
Okay.
Oops, your mic cut out. What was that?
That is an 18 to
That is
hit.
an 18. Is that going to hit? That is going to hit. Okay, so how much damage is that going to be?
4. Oh no, sorry, 3.
Oh, I shall heal 1. Okay. You see the impact of that darkened energy smash into one of these creatures, and she flinches a little bit, but they don't seem to do much more than that. Go ahead and make your Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
You didn't move. Or do you plan on moving? Or do you wanna
Yeah, she's gonna
Move in?
start moving in. She just said
Okay.
she couldn't get close enough to attack.
So then you'll be about 15 feet away from them at the end of your turn. Go ahead and make me a dex save.
Dex save.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, you're going to take 5 points of damage, of slashing damage. Do you have resistance to slashing out of curiosity, being a gnome, an autonome?
Let me see. And I got a 19 con save.
Okay, then you're going to break the effects of the Rave Enfeeblement easily.
Yeah, let me check on resistances real quick.
Just
I
curious.
don't think I
don't think you do. I don't think that's a racial
Yeah, I
feature
don't think-
for
no.
autonomes, but worth checking. All right.
Yeah, I don't see it, so I'll take the damage.
Okay, so it's 5
You don't care.
5 points of slashing damage as you can hear it's like keys being run along the side of a car door as you're like moving through these
no.
razor vines. You can all hear that screeching sound. Yeah, and by the end of your round, you also just through sheer force of will and that divine energy that's flowing through you, you simply reject the necromantic energies, forcing them out. You all can see for a brief second this ambient kind of like glowing moonish like light around Celine as this darkened necromantic energy bleeds out from the top of their skin and just evaporates into the air around them. And that's going to be the end of Celine's round.
And she's like a little tiny, but she's starting to look a little intimidating too.
Very angry. What was the name of that dude in Return to Oz? I can't remember his name.
Oh,
You know who I'm talking about?
yeah, but it's been too
I
long.
can't remember his name. He was
I
supposed to be
need
a
to
friend.
watch that movie. It's been recommended so much lately. It's nuts.
It is. Shoot, there's a meme going right now on Twitter of like, what movie were you too young to watch? And that would definitely be an option. Holy hell, that movie. Okay, so Teak, you're actually up next. You're about 20 feet up. Because you are a flyer, you can easily close the distance right now without having to worry about that razor vine if you want to get up in one of these guys' faces.
Okay, so I would go for the guy that wanted to be extra sneaky. The sneakiest of the guys is the one that I would.
That would be the one on the
going
wall. Yeah, you can. They are also perfectly in range, and they. Oh, I'm sorry, they're not on the wall. They're up on the roof now because they've engaged Flurbix. So
Oh,
easy.
they've engaged.
They're in Flurbix's face right now. They crawled up the wall and met Flurbix face to face. So there's a third one that's currently on the roof with the druid.
Okay.
So
All right. Well,
you have access to everybody.
excellent.
Mhm.
Exactly like Teak loves it. So utilizing his bonus action,
Okay.
Teak is going to enact Eldritch Maul, where you see his Eldritch Claw tattoo that is underneath his feathers, like start to glow slightly. As a bonus action, you can empower your tattoo for 1 minute. For the duration, each of your melee attacks with a weapon or an unarmed strike can reach a target up to 15 feet away from you as inky tendrils launch toward the target. In addition, your melee attacks deal an extra 1d6 force damage on a hit. Once used, this bonus action cannot be used again until the next dawn.
Okay.
So
Wicked. Eldritch Claw tattoos are one of the greatest things you could possibly give a monk. Turning a monk into a ranged combat weapon is terrifying. Thank you, Sandalev, for teaching me that.
Nice. Okay, so the bonus action, that is empowered. However, Teak did see what happened with Celine and is noting that. So as an actual action, as opposed to what he was going to do, he is instead going to use Sacred Flame on the individual that is on the roof.
Okay.
So with Sacred Flame, Dexterity saving throw. The dex is 12.
All right. And that is a 16. So plus the bonus. So 18 is going to save.
Big time save.
Big time save.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that Teak was finishing the pastry that he got from Mimi. And that kind of threw his aim off just a little bit.
Yeah. Real quick, Celine, I forgot to ask you to do this. If you could, please make me an Arcana check. And in your case, I will allow a religion check, but at disadvantage, if you want to take one of that. Because you're muted.
My religion's actually a fair bit better, so I'm going to chance it.
Although statistically rolling with disadvantage, but yeah, go ahead. Do it. You never know.
Okay, 11.
11. All you know is that they're fiends. You're not sure what you're fighting.
I'm
All you
still
know
getting
is
the rust out of my eyes.
yeah. All right. So Teak, that's going to be your action, I believe.
Well, yeah, but for movement,
Mhm.
Teak is going to, because I've got 40 feet of
Right. And you're flying,
movement,
so you
and
can.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get out of distance of the one from the roof. Well,
Okay.
I don't know what its distance is, but
Yeah, but you get out of you get out of slashing range if nothing else.
yeah, let's say 35 feet
Okay.
away from the one that's on the roof.
Easy enough. All right. So then you take to the air a little bit more. And that's going to bring us to Flurbex.
All right, here's the thing. Does the thing in front of me, I don't know what it is because I failed my whatever check, but does it look like it would be strong? Is it like muscly? Is it big? Is it chunky?
No,
is it
it's real
Garlog?
sinewy. It has like long, thin arms and not like
Okay.
really like big knobs on its elbows. You can see those long, slender fingers.
And does it have wings or anything?
does not.
Like it seems to have climbed. Okay, in that
Yeah.
case, I'm gonna push it off the roof.
Yeah,
I'm
you've been
going
playing
to.
enough Baldur's Gate 3 to know that this is a good tactic to use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna push it off the roof then. In that case, so I'm gonna
All
make
right.
a just like a big pseudopod, just smash it. See if I can push it backwards and see if I can land it on top of one of its allies.
Yes. Okay. So just refreshing myself on how a push works. Shove is a special melee attack. You can use an attack action to make a special melee attack. If you're able to make blah, 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 the target you shove must be no more than one size larger. It's not. Strength athletics contested with their strength athletics or dexterity.
Or their acrobatics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
can choose athletics or acrobatics. I'm going to use my athletics, and I've just now remembered as well that I, as a plasmoid, I have advantage on, I think it's grapple checks, racial traits, amorphous, something, shape self. Yeah, advantage on grapple checks. So instead of pushing him, I'm actually just going to grab him, fall off the roof with him, and try and drag him cheese grater style down the razor vine of the 80-foot wall, and just move and just pull him through 80 feet of razor vine. And then I'm going to try and land on his ally instead.
That is definitely going to fall into the rule of cool. I'm going to see if I can make that strength check to prevent that from happening.
So I'll roll with advantage. Not great, unfortunately. So just a 12 from me.
And they
yes,
got,
beat a 12
I rolled
to not
an
get
18.
Damn it. So I sort of like encompass him a little bit, but he's too dexterous and is pushing out of the way.
Yeah, but you're 80 feet up. That would have been brutal.
That would have been pretty brutal.
So that would have been a heck of a thing. It's not out of the question just yet, but basically,
yeah, I'm just going to try again next time, I think.
Okay, great. Do you have your movement action? I'm guessing you're staying where you are.
I'm gonna stay where I am, like between, on the other side of the fall from him, so that he has a harder time pushing me off.
Okie doke. All right, Noctis, you're up next, and now that you've got a good look at them, I'm gonna let you, if you want to make an Arcana check here, you can. You guys still have 5 inspiration and the option for a single plot point.
I might use an inspiration if you guys don't mind.
Okay.
Arcana.
Yeah, that'll mark it down to 4. You still have. Okay, cool. Thank you again, community, for that. Let's see. 2d20. 18. They're night hags. 3 of them. It immediately occurs to you in that moment, Noctis, this is a dangerous fight. All 3 of them are very powerful, and the 3 of you might almost be a little outmatched. The fight's only just begun, but with the razor vines, this is going to be an ugly fight. Like, it occurs to you in that particular moment as you're seeing them move and casting spells and speaking in Infernal. It just clicks with you, and you have this instinct which is like, oh no.
I have an idea, but let me figure some things out first.
Yep, do the calculations in your mind. Noctis is like going to the Mind Palace for the moment.
Who's next in initiative after Noctis?
Rain. Rain is going to be coming up next. Rain is very upset that their friends are being attacked. So Rain is going to have a few things to say about this.
What did Rain roll?
Rain on initiative?
Yes.
Rain is on a 14.
Okay.
Same as...
There's a lot in that 14 slot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's Noctis, Rain, and Silvio.
I have my idea.
Okay, what's you do? What you gonna do?
It would be very involved, and so I'm just gonna run it by you to see if it's even possible.
Okay.
My thought is, since there's razor vine everywhere, I have an oil and a tinder box
Yep.
in my bag. I'm gonna light this bitch up. If
This is-
possible,
I
but I
just
need
wanna-
to clear everybody out.
I love it. I can see your Baldur's Gate 3 like experience coming to light right now. You could totally do that. So it would be, yes, you could use your move action essentially to pull that stuff out, light it up, and hurl it into the razor vine. In truth, there's nobody in the party right now. The only person that would be in danger of this is technically Celine, but Celine's 15 feet away from them still, so she's not going to suffer the effects from these vines going up right away. You're using oil. It is worth noting it is still raining outside, but this will still have an effect. If you want to try it, you could do it.
I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna do it.
Okay. I'm not even going to bother having you roll. It's an AoE. You're kind of just throwing this oil into the center of them and shattering as it lights up into flames. I am going to have the razor one. I'm going to have them make Constitution saves just to see if they catch fire. And let's go. I roll a nat 1. So the razor vines are going to catch a flame. I guess it's been a very dry season here on the side of Sigil. Okay, so then I'm going to have, let's see, let's roll for those two. I roll a 2 and a 3. So the night hags are also going to get burned, literally. Okay, so I'm going to roll some damage here. Let's do... oh, you know what? I can actually figure this out. That's lighting them up. Fire it up. Fire it up. Okay. And fire damage. Correct. So how much? Plus your tiny to. Oh, sure. Let's just use that as baseline. I'm going to roll 2d6 damage. Nice oil fire on everybody. So 4 points of damage, but guess what happens? They take 4 points of damage, but Celine, you watch as the flames catch. For whatever reason, these razor vines catch fire fast, and you see them like curl up, blacken, and split. And the terrain in front of you suddenly splits open and is burned to the ground right in front of you in a flash flame of just. So the terrain in front of you is no longer difficult. Plus, at the end of this turn, the rain is going to put the fire out, so you're not going to have to roll anything to run through it. So
the little auto gnome suddenly looks very grimly happy and just looks up and thank
murderous
you.
style. You basically gave your heavy hitter tank free access to go lay the smack down, and they are going to take 4 points of damage each. As that catches their attention, as like wisps of smoke drifting off into the rain as they kind of jerk. They notice that there's somebody behind them now. That's going to be your actions. So next up is Rain. Rain is very unhappy. The unicorn kitty has decided it's time to do something about this. Let's see, what can she do? Okay, she is going to use her ability Glitter Storm. Rain emits a rainbow beam in a 30-foot line that is 5 feet wide. Each creature in the area must make a DC 15 dex save or take 21 points of radiant damage on a failed save. Creatures of evil alignment have disadvantage on the saving throw. If the damage of the effect reduces them to 0, the creature dies and its body turns into glittering flowers.
I love those kitties so much.
Okay, so
yeah, are glitter flowers edible? Can we put that on pastries?
You know what? There might be a market. So she is going to aim for the one that cast the. She's going to aim at the one that cast the spell at Celine, and here we go.
I'm also assuming at this point Rain has left Mimi's like no longer with Mimi. at
That's
this point in
correct.
time.
Right.
If it's 30 feet, like
Well, yeah, it's thankfully it's a line, so she can actually she can actually pick who's going to get hit by this. It's like a lightning bolt
yeah.
spell, so she can pick it. But no, she's actually going to leap off of you, and she too has flight. She extends her wings, which holy hell.
The
Her
flame
wings,
wings.
which are made of fire, which are causing just a halo of steam to just swell around her as she leaps off of your shoulder. She has a flying speed of 120 feet. So she leaps
That's
off of
horrifying.
I
that's
think she's our most powerful party member.
hey, you know what?
Yeah.
So she leaps off your feet, off of your shoulder into the air, and is going to cast the spell. This night hag needs to make a DC 15 save on Dex. Let's see how she does. She rolls a 6 plus 2 for an 8. She's going to take 21 points of radiant damage and scream in rage as all of a sudden you all watch the alleyway light up with rainbow colors as this little kitten with a golden horn zaps with radiant energy this night hag, who just gets thrown back against the wall in shock and terror at the sight of this bizarre creature on flaming wings. That
Is
is
she
going to
also
be,
covered in glitter now that will never go away?
you know what?
Is-
Yes, it's going to be in her
Yeah.
clothes forever.
Oh boy.
Ever. So let's see. What any other effects? Saving their half speech. Yeah, disadvantage on the roll. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's going to be Rain's action for the turn, which is going to take us to. That's going to take us up to. I believe that's going to be you, Silvio. Yep, it's Silvio's turn.
Okay, so both of them got lit up, or one of them got lit
Just
up?
one of them, the one that was attacking the paladin. So the one that was coming after Celine has been zapped.
Okay. I will say I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on trying to get just the two.
That's going to
'Cause
be
I don't-
easy to do because
I can't. I don't know. The third one's too far anyway, right? It's up
Yeah.
on the rooftop, and I may not have seen it.
Celine's still not in range. Rain is not in range, and Noctis has not moved into range. She just threw oil at it. So you can actually, if they don't make their save, you can tag them both.
All right, I will cast Fairy Fire.
Dex saves, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Dex save 13.
Okay, the first one rolls a 7 plus 2, 9 is going to fail. So they are now lit up and glittering upon glittering upon glittering. The next one rolls a 19 for a total of 21. So that one is going to save, but this one is first one is fairy fired.
I'm curious, is the Fairy Fired one the one that got lit up, or the one that
The one that
is-
got lit up has been fairy fired. So they are having a very bad combat encounter right now.
And then from there, that's my action. I will then try to duck out of the way after this,
Okay.
because it's a concentration, so I don't want to get hit. In the
Okay.
middle of...
So easy enough because you haven't left the entryway of the alley yet. So you can just literally slip around the corner and kind of put your back against the wall and duck out of sight. So that's easy enough for you. And then we're going to wrap up this round and then take a break. Mimi, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, I think Mimi saw that this all happened before she even got sort of into position or into
Mhm.
play. And so Mimi is going to pretend to just be an old woman that like stumbled in to this moment, and it's gonna pop up from one of the side alleys, holding like a little bread bag that she sort of pulls out of her bag of holding. Oh my. And then I'm going to immediately like use my Blessing of the Raven Queen to teleport in the shadows right behind one of them,
Mhm.
and stab them twice in the head.
Your character gives me Yubaba vibes from Spirited Away. I swear to God, like seemingly nondescript, like older woman that is terrifying. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
gonna try to. So you're basically getting right up in front of them.
Yes.
Okay, so
Behind them. I'm gonna
behind them. Okay,
appear
so
behind them.
which one do you want to go after? Probably the one that's got advantage on them, right?
Yes.
So there's one that because one has been zapped by Unikitty, and the other and has also been fairy fired. Now, so you get an advantage on the attack if you go after that one.
Yes, because I want to take that sneak attack.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
also important to note for your future attacks for you, Noctis, because one of them now has advantage. You get your sneak attack damage if you decide to make with a stabby stab. All right, go ahead and make your attack roll. Also, you'll need to make a dex save when you get there, just not because of the razor vines, but because of the fire that's still burning
Mhm,
till the end
mhm.
of turn. Dagger to hit. That is definitely a hit. Indeed.
Okay.
That is going to be a nasty, nasty hit. So go ahead and roll damage on that.
That is 6
6 points.
plus my sneak attack, another 9. And then my second dagger, is that with advantage as well? Is that
Yes.
any hit
it
on
is.
this creature?
Mhm. You only get the one sneak attack, but yes, that's
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
Oof, that was terrible. Never mind. So just the 15
Okay.
total damage.
Go ahead, and this is going to be the final one, I think. But go ahead and make an Arcana check before you make your
all right.
Constitution check. Yeah.
I suck at Arcana, but I'll do it.
The one person that's got the Arcana skill is not. Okay, you're not sure what it is you're fighting, but when you
I never am.
when you stab them with the dagger, you can feel the resistance of that blade against their flesh. It doesn't like you've stabbed things before, plenty of time, Mimi. This one seems to have a natural resistance to the blade. As you drive it in, it just does not feel like you gain enough purchase. That stab should have pierced all the way through the surface and gone straight up to the hilt and back out again. But in this case, it was like stabbing a wall practically. Just you pull it back out. So
Okay.
that's
I want to pull out one of my poison vials just
okay.
as that's my next thing I'm going to do.
Out of poison
I'm
vial.
not doing it now, but I'm just like,
Okay. So combat is now joined truly as we start the second round of this battle in the alleyway. Stay tuned, stay with us. We're going to go take a quick 10-minute break, and when we come back, it's going to be the hag's turn. Let's see who gets pushed off of the roof now. Dun dun dun. Probably not. Probably not Flurbex. But yeah. See you in 10 minutes.
Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a Dungeons & Dragons strategy video game that brings together D&D characters from the novels, adventures, and multiple live streams all into a single grand adventure. It is a deeply strategic game, and now Chris Dupuy is going to tell you how to play it.
Familiars are auto-clickers. They will help you progress when you're not in the game or not actively playing the game. Familiars will click and damage enemies for you. They'll level up your champions. They'll trigger your ultimates, help you collect gold quicker. And they can even help you click distractions. They're basically meant to give you more time to learn about the game and just play around with stuff. They basically give you some freedom without worrying about the enemies getting up to you, because the familiar's got it. So the wall of idle champions is when your formation, however you set it up and however you've optimized it, can't progress any further. The enemy's health is going to increase exponentially, and your champion's damage is at some point, no matter what, no matter how good you are, no matter how leveled up your champions are, at some point, the enemy's health is going to outpace your champion's damage. And at that point, you've hit your wall. So when you hit your wall, if you're close to your goal, there's a bunch of items that you can use. There's potions and stuff that can help you push just a little bit further. But normally, that means that the adventure is done for right now. So what you can do is you can reset the adventure, and all the gold that you've collected will be transferred into Divine Favor. Divine Favor then increases the rate at which you collect gold on the next adventure. So even if you weren't able to reach your goal during one adventure, resetting it will allow you to get further each time. And so resetting is one of the core elements of the game, in that it allows you to basically like bank all that progress you've made, put it into Divine Favor, and push further every time. So when you restart, all of your equipment, all of the characters that you have, that all stays, but everyone restarts at level 1, and you gain gold quicker, so you're going to be able to level them up quicker and progress further on your next adventure. And then that just keeps spilling into the next adventure to the next adventure. Every month we have a limited time event in the game. It lasts about 12 days, and that's your opportunity to collect and gear up event champions through play. So we're in year 3 of events, so we have 3 different champions, the year 1, the year 2, and the year 3 champion, the year 3 champion being the newest one. When you enter into an event and you play in an adventure during an event, you can not only unlock the champion, you can collect chests for them so that you can gear them up during the event for free. Events are your best way to level up and gear up champions, but if you miss the event, if you join the game now and you missed all the past champions, time gates are your way to collect and gear up those champions through play. So every 3 weeks, whenever there's not a limited time event going, the natural time gate will open. You'll be able to open up the time gates and choose from a selection of champions, and you'll be able to run through their event story and collect up to 2 gold chests for them. And you can do that as often as you have the time gate pieces for it. So if you've been playing for a while and you got a bunch of time gate pieces banked, you can open up a time gate and just gear up any event champions you have access to. The weekends in Idle Champions give you a different play experience. Every Friday at noon and through Monday at noon, we buff 5 different champions. And so if those champions are part of your normal formation, your formation is going to be powered up for the weekend. So it'll allow you to push a little bit further and maybe hit that goal that you've been unable to get to. So pay attention to the newsletters, because it will list the champions that are available. And during the weekend, if you add them to your formation, you'll gain the buffs from those champions. And then if you want to gear them up, we have chests with gear just for those 5 champions. Patrons are really high-level characters in the Forgotten Realms that will allow you to replay variants, but the wrinkle is they add a new level of challenge to those variants in that they only work with certain champions. So Vajra Safar, the Blackstaff, will only work with champions with a high constitution score, for example. But it'll allow you to go through and replay variants to collect patron currency and patron influence, which you can then use to buy unique items, including feats, and also power up your champions in both the patron variants and also in every adventure that you run. Feats are champion-specific buffs that give you a level of customization for your characters. You can unlock feats by opening up gold chests, you can get them through weekend promos, you can purchase feats with gems, and they allow you to customize the character based on how you want to play them. So if this character is going to be a tank, you can increase their overwhelm level. If they're working for support in the formation, you can increase the global DPS. So you can really customize the character the way you want to play with them. So we give away codes through a variety of methods, like through the live stream, through our partner streams, or through our weekly newsletter. Once you have a code, go into the in-game store and click on Unlock a Locked Chest, and that'll bring you up to the cryptex where you can put in the code and it'll unlock whatever the code unlocks. So we have a really great community on Discord. Our Discord is at discord.gg/idlechampions. We've got channels for spoilers, we've got channels for fan art, channels for discussions about the game, and the community members are just so gracious and accommodating with new players, and they really help players get a grasp on the game and learn how to gain a level of mastery.
Hello, I'm Benwin Bronzebottom, celebrity dwarf and video game enthusiast, and this is my sidekick, Crowy.
Hello.
Quiet, you. I'm here to tell everyone about Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. It's a Dungeons & Dragons based strategy game from Codename Entertainment.
It's a management game with an emphasis on formation strategy, where you assemble parties of legendary heroes and send them on adventures through the Forgotten Realms.
Heroes? Crowy, don't you mean champions?
Players unlock legendary champions of the Forgotten Realms, like Dritz Duerden and the Companions of the Hall, Farida and Havilar from the Brimstone Angels saga, and many more. Assemble the best adventuring party possible based on your formation options, champion abilities, and the obstacles and enemies you face.
Or just smash your mouse button repeatedly like I do and hope for the best.
Each champion has an incredible array of skills and items to let you customize your style and play even further.
Farther. Farther means more distant, further is figurative.
Well, I meant more distant, but figuratively.
That's further.
Well, customize your style even further, because Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is available on all your favorite gaming platforms. Steam for PC and Mac, web, Epic Game Store, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, iOS tablets, and Android devices.
Well, let me know when it comes to the BlackBerry. I'm not giving up that phone. It's the only keyboard I can use.
I hear it's coming to the smart fridge next spring.
Back to the streets of Sigil. We're in the middle of a big nasty fight in a very dark alleyway down in the Hive Ward with the Ward Rats. Just as a quick reminder, we currently, thanks to the generosity of our awesome community, we have 4 points of inspiration, which can always be regenerated or restored at any point, but they do not carry over. So I'm encouraging the group to spend all of inspiration at those critical moments because they are hugely beneficial. They can cash in 3 of those inspiration points to gain a plot point. A plot point is an incredibly powerful device where the powers of the story get handed over to the players to a limited degree. You guys can do things like have an NPC to show up and help, or solve a mystery, or anything like that, or rewrite history. No, I can't sing it because then we'll get into trouble on Twitch. But that's what plot points are good for. So, with that, we are going to jump right back into combat where we left off. And going up first is actually the Night Hag that is currently on the roof with our Druid Flurbex.
Bring it.
Sorry?
I said, bring it.
Oh, sorry. I was switched
If
away.
Flurbex-
Who's shouting?
If Flurbex had knuckles, he'd crack them.
All right. In which case, this Night Hag is going to make an attempt on your life. She is going to... Nope, can't do that. Nope, doesn't. Okay, so yeah, she's going to take a swipe at you.
AC 17.
All right, let's see if she gets you. I roll a 2. That's going to miss.
It's not going to do it.
Her frustrations is this plasmoid is just kind of like glomping onto her. She's like swiping at you and just
She swipes into me, but she hits the chainmail that's just kind of like floating
inside.
the surface.
Excellent. That's really her action. She only has 1 attack action for this round, so we're going to go to the next one. That would be the Night Hag who has advantage on it. She is going to swing around, and they are going to confront Mimi, who has just implanted a dagger in them. Mimi, they are going to point a finger at you and with a hissing sound. Let's see. So... Oh, okay. So 3. All right. 1 second here. You're going to take 9 points of damage, Mimi, as she turns and looks at you and just belts out. You can immediately recognize the arcana that she is summoning around her as the magic begins to form at her fingertips, and you get magic missiled at point blank. She just these bolts of energy just slam into your body. That's going to be her action.
Mimi doesn't show any pain. You just see like dark shadows start to like
Oh boy.
wisp over her face and like where her eyes are. She just looks menacing now.
Very disappointed.
I'm disappointed in you.
She is to then... Nope, she's going to stay where she is. The third Night Hag, who has not been touched, though, they are going to direct their... They seem to be very focused on the Paladin, who has now been liberated from the vines and is looking quite strong and is about to make their way over. So funny. The funny thing behind the GM screen, just real quick, Night Hags get an ability called Plane Shift, which is very powerful, but it doesn't help you in Planescape. It doesn't help you when you're in Sigil. So, yeah, they are going to attempt once again. What is your AC, Celine? It's 18. I roll a 17 plus 6. I'm going to hit you. Make a Constitution saving throw. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, nope.
Click that con save. Wow. This poor Paladin.
Use that bardic inspiration, I think.
Okay.
Let's see.
Celine got an 8 on that.
So that's a 13 now.
13. You're going to miss it by 1. You get rayed of enfeebled yet again. As this necromantic energy slams into your body for a second time, you begin to feel that energy being sapped out of you, and the sword that you're holding immediately becomes heavier as you're about to advance. That's going to be her action. It is now your turn, Celine.
Well, I can't really worry about myself when there's a nice old lady getting attacked by an evil fiend. So Celine's gonna ignore the one that just raid her
Okay.
for the moment and charge in and swing at the fairy fired.
Okay.
So at least there's advantage on that.
Yeah. When Quincy, remind me,
Yes.
how often do they get to roll save against the fairy fire?
Let's look at the spell. It's concentration on my end.
Right, but they get to roll a dex save or something at the end of every
Let's
round, I
see.
believe.
If it fails, it doesn't say anything past that. They're just
Okay.
lit up until
Just
I
lit up.
lose concentration or otherwise stop the spell.
That makes sense because it's a pretty wide-ranging spell. So, all right,
That was a 22 to hit.
that is you rolled a 1 and a 17. Well done on that advantage roll.
And she was using booming blade for that.
Okay, so just remember, before you roll damage, calculate how much damage you do with your strength first before you calculate anything else, because that's the only thing that's being halved. If you're using smite and all of that other stuff, that is not affected at all by
I'm smiting.
I had a
smiting
feeling
for sure.
So just roll your base weapon damage without any smite power or anything to it, and then we'll have that. So
that is
12. So
that
6,
is 6 with a magic blade,
which will go right past her resistance. So yep, she'll take that.
And then I'm going to do a smitey.
Okay.
Do a smitey.
Smite away.
I think I have to roll that with physical, or no, I guess.
Yeah, you have to calculate it yourself, unfortunately. So just keep track of everything and roll it all, add it all up.
Yeah, let me see. That is, since it is fiends, it's 2d8, correct?
Yeah, they are fiends. 2d8 additional points of damage. Oh no!
Additional 4 damage. Wow.
4 damage. The dice roller's angry at Jody tonight for some reason.
Digital dice, man. So that's 10. That's 10 damage. That's pretty good. And then I'm gonna do my con save to try to.
Yeah, roll your con save.
Nope.
3. Nope, you are still
3.
enfeebled. Yeah, that sucks. Oh no.
Mimi makes eye contact with you and is like, "Nice one."
Hey, thank you, she said, but her voice sounds a little thinner than normal.
That's gonna bring us to Teek's turn. Teek, this night hag is all up in Flurbix's business and is trying to chop him up using their bare hands.
Okay. Well, we're gonna keep it monk simple, monk quick. Teek is going to swoop in and staying 15 feet away because he has Eldritch Maul in action. For action, do an unarmed strike to try to. Let's see. I forgot to say I was going to use an inspiration advantage kind of a thing.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead and roll that. So that'll bring you guys down to. Are you using a personal one or the party one?
The party one. I'm using the party one so far.
You'll now have 3 inspiration pool left. So yeah, 24 is definitely going to hit. Thank you for that inspiration. So go ahead and now this is non-magical damage, correct? You don't have that yet.
Well,
you have Eldritch Claw tattoo.
Eldritch Claw, yeah, but it's
that
like
makes it magical.
It's I felt like Eldritch Claw tattoo was a weird thing where it's like if you want it to be magical, you can. But if not, I prefer for it not to be magical, to be completely. Are considered magical for the purpose of they're considered magical for the purpose of overcoming immunity and resistance to non-magical attacks. So if this is a creature that isn't, then
they're resistant. So you overcome it. So you get to roll full damage. Yeah.
Cool. So for the first one, then unarmed. I mean, it's not going to be too
5 points.
Okay, great. So for bonus action, we're gonna tap into those key points because, Owlin going to Owlin. So yeah, let's go ahead and do flurry of blows. with this one. He's feeling very pastry fueled. So
Okay.
so
Pastry
we're gonna do an
rage.
additional pastry rage. It's pastry rage. So we're gonna do an additional 2 unarmed attacks with
Okay.
that. Let me get back to.
Whap.
It's so weird only having one screen while I'm traveling.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 more attacks. Gosh darn it.
That's not gonna do it.
And another one. That one will do it.
That one will do it.
Okay.
Okay. So give me some damage. Another 5 points.
All right. So what was that total? I can't see the total for that, but you can see the total for
Yep,
that.
I got you.
I didn't see what the other one was.
Yeah.
So yeah,
don't-
Tiku has like a little bit of pastry left, kind of looking like a cigar at this point. Chomps that.
All right.
As he goes in with his purple and green flurry of blows into this night hag on the roof.
You can feel as the impacts through just the connection you have with the chi or the key rather and like the magic. You can feel the impacts. The body of this night hag is incredibly resilient, but you are breaking right through that resistance, smashing into the body repeatedly.
Oh, and I do an extra 1d6 force damage on each hit.
On
I
each
forgot
hit.
about that.
Holy crap. Oh, because
Yeah,
of
on
your
each
right.
hit.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and-
So let me
which will also get past
2
resistance. Yep.
of those. Oh, nope. I messed it up. I did 3. There we go.
2d6. Additional 7 points of damage. Now you're talking. Okay. Yeah, that got our attention a little bit. Turns and looks back over her shoulder at you as she's trying to wrestle with Flurbex and takes note that you were there.
Yeah, so that's like 17 points of damage.
Yep.
Wait, did I get a 5 before? Yes.
Yeah. No, that was not insignificant. All right. So that's going to be your action. You're staying where you are, just out of range from her.
Yes, because the Eldritch Tattoo keeps me out of melee range, and
Out of
I'm gonna
melee range,
utilize that.
Okay. Cool. All right, then that's going to be end of Teek's round. That's going to bring us to Flurbex now.
All right, Flubix. If it didn't work the first time, try it again.
Yep.
Try again.
Try again.
I've got advantage and a +2 on my grapple checks, so
Okay.
I think it should work.
Yep, it's just bad luck the first time.
Yeah, just bad luck the first time. So I'm gonna grapple, and I'm gonna cheese grater this hag all the way down the side of the wall with the razor vine, and then land in the flaming razor vine at the bottom, hopefully on the other night hag to cause some fall damage to that person too.
Beat her
That's my
check.
intent.
Good luck.
That's my intent. Here we go. Athletics check with advantage. Let's go. Okay, I think that is a nat 20 plus 2.
Yep.
That is a nat 20 plus 2.
Yep.
So
Glomp
I'm
on
now
her.
grappled. I'm now grappled around, and then I just fall off of the edge of the roof with her, like grabbing her like here and just pushing her up against the wall as we go, and just drag her down the razor vine of the wall, the 80 feet.
Oh,
and I'm definitely going to take some fall damage myself, but it'll be worth it, hopefully.
Okay, so
I'm aiming, if possible, for one of the night hags on the ground.
all right.
I want to see the cinematic shot of this with the camera above them.
Slow motion, like the angelic choir playing in the background is
Just the razor wire shredding her face as they fall.
So 80 feet. That's going to be 8d6 bludgeoning damage plus.
Heck yeah.
It's okay. So 8d6 bludgeoning, and then the razor vine is 10 feet. So that'll be so.
I don't know how the razor vine works.
So I'm gonna give her her deck save on the razor vines, but technically every 10 feet you move through a razor vines. If you fail your deck save, you take 5 points of slashing damage. So
hell yeah! So another 40 points of slashing if she fails.
8d6. Okay, so let me calculate this as the two of you go over the side. So this will
8d6 is a fireball, by the way. So I'm just casting fireball on the two of us, essentially. Same amount of damage.
Throwing the city of Sigil at her. Okay, so she's gonna take. Okay, 1 sec. As I break out the calculator, this is pretty rad.
Also, the average of 8d6. If you roll average on the fall damage, I'll be left with 4 hit points.
Okay,
if you roll anything above average, I may have just knocked myself out. But if it takes this lady out, it might be worth it because action economy.
pretty. Okay, so and then
You
the
got a
razor
paladin.
Right. Right.
I'm going to have her.
For now.
So 1,
Hey, maybe I can swoop in and
2.
grab you before you hit the ground.
Nah,
We don't
it's
know.
fine.
We'll,
I'll take it.
we'll
I'm
get
hoping
there.
to
We'll
transfer.
see.
I'm hoping any fall damage that I take transfers at least partially to the one that I slam down on. Just splats
like
with acid.
Mechanically, it can only work if the fall takes more than one turn to happen, so that it can go to your round to actually do an action.
Her body full on resists all of the Razorvine damage. Just does not cut through that thick skin.
Is Razorvine not considered magical or something?
Slamming into the ground down 80 feet below, taking 8d6, but because of her resistance to bludgeoning damage is going to be halved, so 43 points of fall damage, which is split to 22 points for her. And
did you say it's 40? You rolled 43 on 8d6?
On 8d6, I rolled. Yes, I did. I rolled.
That is a majority sixes. The maximum you could possibly roll on 8d6 is 48.
According
you rolled 43?
According to D&D. Well, so this is not your damage.
Okay.
I haven't rolled your damage yet, but yes, that is what I rolled for her.
That's insane.
Yep, it says here
That's
3 plus 7 plus 4 plus, and then I loses the thread. But yes, that's what I. Oh, here we go.
The chat's trying to murk us on episode 2. I love this.
I rolled a 3, 7.
Is, I believe, the power of math, people.
3, 7.
How did you roll 7?
4, 5,
how did you roll
6, 6,
Can I ask how you rolled 7s on a d6?
On a d8, you mean?
It's an 8d6 fall damage.
Did I roll d? Oh, and I rolled d8.
That explains it.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be, fall damage is always d6.
Yeah.
Okay, let me re-roll that. Thank you for catching that.
I was just like, I'm a maths guy.
You later.
I'm just a maths guy, and the maths was
yeah.
like,
I rolled d8. Sorry about that. Because I know why I made the mistake, because I'm rolling 8 of them, and so I probably my brain was like, oh yeah, it rolled the 8. Okay, so let me re-roll this.
Yeah, I will say though, out of character, night hags are so cool to fight right now, and I love this.
Okay, well the irony is I rolled 39 points of damage on 5D on 8.
Jesus, that's still so much above average.
I rolled a 5, a 6, a 5, a 6, a 5, a 6, a 1, and a 5.
Damn, that's awesome.
So 39. Let me recalculate this then.
19.
So instead of that, it's going to be 39 points, and then I'll roll your fall damage here in a second, and let's hope I don't do quite as well. So she'll take so it's a difference of 2 points of damage. She'll take 20 as opposed to 22 points of damage. That's gonna dent her good. Smack! This horrible, sickening sound of the night hag slamming into the cobblestones down below, coupled with the sound of Flurbix also slapping against the stone. So let me roll your fall damage.
Did I get the impression that the Razorvine was doing nothing to her because she's resistant to non-magical damage and they're non-magical, or is it just that she was avoiding them all on the way down?
It's actually because I gave her saving throws on the with disadvantage on the way down, but the saving throw to resist the Razorvines is
and
only
if you
10.
And if you succeed the saving throw, you don't.
Yeah, you just don't take
right,
it.
got it. That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Do I get a dex save against my fall damage, Anna?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Here we go. With I didn't roll with the advantage, but I was using my personal inspiration on that.
This would be. I'm going to say definitely use one of the audience inspirations on this if you can.
The audience inspiration instead of the personal one. I'll do that. So it was only a 10, so it's not going to be enough probably.
No.
DC is.
I rolled 34.
All right.
So
I didn't make it with a 10, I don't think.
So, this is actually an excellent. So let me pause for a second and say this is actually an excellent moment where if you guys wanted to spend a point of plot and be like, thank God I landed in this thick.
Thank God I landed directly on top of one of the other hags.
Actually, that's you spent the
if I land on one of these other hags, would I be able to transfer that damage to one of the hags instead?
Because I would say possibly, but they're still gonna be resistant, so it's just gonna be like a thump on the head.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What do you guys think?
What do y'all
Do
think?
we have enough inspiration left?
Well,
We
is
have
it
3
Is it a-
left.
to be clear, is it an inspiration to plot point exchange rate, or is it that there are two separate
No.
sets of points that we've been getting?
No, it's
No.
you guys had 3 audience plot points left. So instead of burning an audience plot point for inspiration, you could switch that instead to burning those 3 inspiration points to a plot point and make something true. And in which case, this lets you kind of tweak the
Okay.
narrative a little bit.
So do
I
we want to
think
do that or
save
not?
them as inspirations.
Save them as inspirations. So I'll
Yeah.
just slam down, and I missed the hag entirely, the one that I was aiming for.
Yeah, because the other 2 hags are actually about 15 feet away from where you guys are falling.
Got it. Right.
So when you guys impact on the ground, y'all are actually landing. Curiously enough, you're actually landing about 10 feet away from where Sylvia.
There you go then. And how much damage
And
did I
then
take?
here
34
comes
or
the
something.
audience with 6,000 bits.
Bam, Weberjack.
So
There's
let
your
me
3
go
plot points. There we
recalculate
go.
here.
I'm gonna take the plot point that Weberjack just gave us. Thank you, Weber.
That's an
And I'm
additional.
gonna say thank God I noticed halfway down that the hag was not taking any damage from the razor vine, so I just pushed off of her, like pushed her up against the wall, pushed off of her, and forced myself 10 feet out from the wall to land on one of the other hags instead.
Yeah.
And she broke my fall, and I at the very least split the damage with her, if not gave her all of it.
I mean, so yeah, basically in the chaos of the fall. So you're gonna spend a plot point then. So that's amazing. Okay,
I'm gonna take that plot point Weberjack just
thank
paid
you,
for. Thank you,
audience.
Weber.
That's great. So you guys jumped back up to 5 inspiration, in which you're burning 3 of that to get a plot point, taking us back down to 2 points of inspiration. And instead, Flurbex bounds off of this falling night hag and then just kind of like flops through the air. The other night hag, which has not been touched yet, and they've all been damaged, but this one has the most hit points still. Is actually getting ready to team up on the ones that are attacking their sister, when all of a sudden from above, Flurbex, like a blob cannonball, just comes smashing down on top. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna throw out the. I'm just gonna to make that plot point really count. I'm basically gonna send that. I'm gonna have that falling damage. So then you're gonna take half damage then.
Okay, and they'll take the other half.
For the point. So then 34 divided by 2.
17.
And then I'm gonna also give the other 17 points of damage is gonna go to the night hag. And because it's plot, I'm going to skip her resistances.
We can hand wave it by saying that it's my acid damage instead.
That's a good point. Okay, so it's quite the sight. You guys literally watch falling from the heavens as Flurbex basically cannonballs one of these night hags, slamming into her. And actually, I'm going to make her make a dex save to see if she goes prone here.
Nice.
I mean, that's from the top rope, y'all. All right, so let's go. Nope, she's going to fail. So she goes prone. She smack into her, and she goes right to the ground, her face colliding with the cobbled stone and burned razor vines as you just land on top of her with the giant splattering.
Prone crone. Nice.
And Flurbex, you're down to 15 hit points, but my goodness, it was glorious. What a round. That's going to take us to our next turn, which is going to be Noctis, who just watched all of this happen in front of her.
Oh wait, which one did Flurbex hit?
The one that actually had just feeble-minded you. Oh, wait, let me see if she has to make a concentration check. I don't think she does, because ranged spell attacks typically don't require concentration, but I just want to make sure. So feeble mind is concentration 1 minute. She has to make a constitution saving throw. And I rolled a 5. She's going to fail. So the feeble mind
to the rescue.
Wave enfeeblement evaporates at the end of that turn. So you're no longer enfeebled.
It's just what a day. Just swinging back and forth.
Yeah, it's this is quite the combat. All right, Noctis, you're up. There is a night hag that is currently prone on the ground, which will give you advantage against her for the attack. There is currently one that's glittering and glowing, which will also give you advantage. There's just so many delicious targets.
So many options. I don't know. I love to kick a man when they're down. So maybe I'm going to go for the one that's just flat on the ground, and I'm going to use my sneak attack.
All right, sounds good. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because one of our community friend of the fiend, Sloppy Comet. I just want to say that is a fantastic band name and an excellent, not only a descriptor of a great plasmoid cannonballing somebody, but anyway. All right, so you're going to move up on this fallen form. Go ahead and make your attack roll. Hold on, is it just? Yeah.
So
Okay.
I have 2 daggers equipped. Would I roll for both of them?
Yeah, both roll one at a time, but yeah, you can basically, what you can do is you're wielding them two-handed, so you can get use your offhand attack, but unless you have a feat that lets you utilize the bonuses of an offhand attack, if I remember correctly, you don't get your dexterity damage bonus on the offhand attack. Does that sound right to you, Robert and AJ, Markia, everybody? Does that sound right to y'all?
Say that again. Sorry, I was looking
So
at chat.
for offhand attack, you don't have a feat. So if
You
I
don't
remember
have if you don't have the dual wielding feature or feat, then you don't add your dexterity bonus to the attack roll. It's just the dice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you don't
add your dexterity bonus to the damage roll, I should say.
Gotcha. That's what I was. Okay, cool.
Great. And if you want to be particularly nasty with it, you can give disadvantage for that because it is unlearned skill.
Oh, okay. Nah, we're good. Yeah, because you've got, from what I'm. Oh, I've got it right here. Yeah.
You're so nice, Eric.
Well, it's also a night hag that's
5e
literally laying belly down right now. It's not like the odds are in her favor of.
Yeah, if a creature's prone, you'd have advantage on the attack against them if you're within 5 feet.
Yeah.
So here is my question.
Yeah.
Do I roll where it says hit DC, or do I roll where it says damage?
Hit DC.
Okay.
For the first attack, yeah.
Okay.
So you roll that first dagger attack.
22.
And you get to roll it again because you have advantage, so you get to roll 2d20s and pick the best of the two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll roll again.
The first hit is definitely.
Yeah,
so the first hit, 22, is definitely going to hit. So now you'll roll your damage, and then you'll roll your sneak attack damage, which is a little bit further down on your character sheet. Six. Nice. Okay. And then here comes the sneak attack. Oh, nice. Okay, so 6, 7. So 6 points. All right. So again, you're actually kind of experiencing what Mimi experienced when you slam the dagger into the body of the night hag. You can feel the body resisting the punishment, the damage. Doesn't quite break through. But I have to roll for. Oh, that's right. Hold on. I have to make a roll. I totally forgot about this. 1 second. If you want to go ahead and roll your second attack, you can. But I would say just roll a standard D20.
Okay.
Because you don't get to add your dex to this. But you do get advantage. You get to roll a D20 twice.
Okay.
13 won't do it, but second attack will definitely do it. 23. So then just roll a flat D6, I believe, because you're not trained in 2-weapon fighting just yet. Three. Okay, so 3, 6. Okay, so let me just add that up, and then yeah. Okay, cool. It takes total. Okay, so driving the dagger in, you just lunge over there and start stabbing down into her. Flurbeck's is kind of rolling away to give you a little bit more space to stab into the body. But yeah, you can feel it's like stabbing into the sinewy, like thick meat. You just cannot get enough stab into it. It's frustrating. And at that moment, at the end of your turn, as this is happening, you notice something swirling around your feet. It looks like this strange, almost liquid like mist, like like a bizarre SFX gone awry. It starts to
Yeah,
spread out around.
sorry about that. It happens when I when I get aerosolized.
You funny thing enough, you actually see at the same moment that this is happening, it looks like something. You see glass fragments broken apart on the inside of that arcana looking pouch that she has next to one of these skulls that's hanging off of her belt. Something's broken on the inside of this pouch, and you just see this mist. What's remarkable about it to you, the moment you see it, Noctis, is as it begins to spread outward, it looks like it's expanding, like it's growing. It doesn't look like a typical vial of like a mist or anything. It looks like something is billowing out of this, and uh, it's
Do I
somewhat.
know what this is?
You've
Can I
never seen-
investigate?
if you want to make an Arcana check, and hope if you roll spectacular here, it's entirely possible. But make an Arcana check to see if you can. If you all, everyone who sees this, you can all make an Arcana check to see if you can understand what you're looking at here.
I'm wondering if I might have any, since I'm outer plane touch, like that's my whole thing with Astro Self. Is there any bonus that I could get with that?
I'll give you. Yeah, I don't think it's enough to warrant an advantage, but I'll give you a +2 to your roll.
Thank you.
All right, Teak, +2, so a total of +5, so 18 then, or yeah, plus 2 more, so yeah, so then actually 15. So, none of you have seen anything like this. It swirls in sort of this dark blue, greenish, glowing color and spreads outward, but it billows like it doesn't look like somebody turned on a fog machine. It just looks like it is endless, like it's spewing out of a portal or something. It just expands around her, almost swallows the night hag whole completely. But I will say this, Noctis, you can see her eyes widen as this begins to happen, and she screams, "No, no!" as this is happening. That's going to be the end of your turn. It's Rain's turn. And on Rain's turn, Rain goes, "What is that?" In shock seeing this happen. And instead of taking an attack action, Rain is going to in a 30-foot cone. How often can she do that? I'm gonna put a cap on that and say once a day. Rain is going to release a wave of rejuvenating multicolored light in a 30-foot cone. And every creature of Rain's choice in that area regains 18 hit points. So guess what, Flurbex? As this halo of rainbow colored light spews out forth from Rain's horn, I'm gonna say you heal up 18 hit points from that fall.
Is Celine in that range too?
Oh yeah, you would be because it's a cone. So it's actually pretty much covering the entirety of the alleyway. So if you need it, she can give it to you as well.
Love this
But
cat.
that's gonna do it for Rain's action. But Rain looks a little nervous about this. This is gonna take us to Silvio. Silvio, it is now your turn. You've never seen anything like this, but it is now enveloping the entirety of the alley. It's already, just by the time your turn rolls around, it has already swirled up around the base of Celine. It has completely enveloped Flurbex. You can see the outline of Flurbex still on top of the Night Hag. It's already swirled up around Noctis. And as you kind of glance out the side of the alley, you can see the tendrils reaching and spreading out from where you are standing. It's completely filling up the place.
And then does that anyone look like they got hurt from it so
No
far?
one looks like they're being affected. It doesn't look like it's having any outward effect, except for the Night Hag, who's screaming in rage and panic.
All right, tell me what the situation with the Night Hags are. We still got all three of them.
Well, they're in the midst of a reaction right now. It looks like 2 of them are currently getting jumped by a paladin and a really angry elderly woman with a breadbasket. And you can also tell there's one that's laying belly down. It's being dogpiled by a bloodthirsty thief and a blob that can cast wild nature magic. Then there is the third one. The third one is the one that had rave enfeeblement. Actually, I'm getting confused. The one that fell off the roof is also prone and is laying on the ground, and she is the one that Flurbex took down and bounced off of and landed on the other one. So she is currently on the ground. So there are 2 Night Hags that are laying face down that you can kind of see. and then the third one, which is glittering with your fairy fire.
What is the one that is in contact with the most people? Like, I guess is that which one is being double teamed?
That would be the one that Selena's on and the one that Mimi is on.
Okay, great. But they're holding that one down, or is it just they're near it?
They're not holding her down. She's in a melee fight with both of them.
Okay, great. I will cast Dissonant Whispers on that one.
Okay.
So that's a whiz saving throw of 13. So we'll see, but
you never know. 13. Yep, she makes it.
Okay. Well, shrug. In that case, I'll give another. Do I want to save this? I'll save it. It's my last bardic inspiration. I'll go. I'll hum an off note thing. It doesn't work, and then I'll shrug, and I'll start actually backing away from the alley, away from this fog thing. I want to be the only one who doesn't touch this.
Okay. You start backing away. You casting the spell, the Dissonant Whispers, you can hear the whispers themselves like echoing out down the corridor. It seems like she's just completely unaffected. She kind of just shrugs it off. So as you start pulling yourself away from the alleyway, fearing this bizarre mist that is starting to swell up around the interior of the alley, as you pull away, you realize it's almost like if you've ever been walking around and you notice you've got like a hair that's like attached to like your beard or something, or where you don't know where it came from, but it's kind of like just dangling in the wind. You have to pull it off or whatever. It's like on your clothes or something. It's the same situation. As you pull yourself away from the alley, you see the mist looks like it's hooked you somehow. It doesn't resist. You don't have to pull away from it. But as you move away, it's like a strand has already touched you and it's following along. It's like gripped onto you and is just whispery, like a finger of it is just kind of hooked onto you. As you step back, it begins to flow along with you.
I just for color, I say this better wash out.
All right, so that's going to be Silvio's turn. It is now Mimi's turn. Mimi, you are
Okay.
enveloped in this stuff, and it is filling up the alleyway. The hag that you are currently on, in this particular moment, looks like she is at the beginning of what looks like rage and panic.
Okay. Would I recognize what this is?
Did
Like
you make
from
it?
my history where I made an arcana, but I suck at that.
Hmm.
Um I'm just checking whether this would have anything to do with my time in the Shadowfell, or if any of my
Hmm.
whispery
Um,
dead people might know what's going on.
no, it really. What's curious to you is it reacts like Living Shadow does.
Mm,
Like they call it Living Shadow, but
okay.
it's kind of inaccurate. But what it is sort of a sentient shadow that lurks in the Shadowfell that coils around and moves. And this
Mm,
seems to be behaving the same way, but it's not shadow. It looks like it's some kind of thick vapor. It has a
I
strange.
embrace it. Okay.
Okay.
I think Mimi, having experienced the shadow version of this, is like, I understand what this is, and treat anything with kindness, and hopefully it treats you with kindness in return. So I sort of move with it as I pour my poison vial into the open wound I caused in the hag earlier.
Okay, make an attack roll.
So this would be uh actually, you know what I'll do is I'm going to stab upwards with my dagger into its jaw and then open its mouth if I can and pour the vial into its mouth.
Morbid.
Because
All right,
that way
go
I can
ahead.
actually roll the attack rather than like roll to pour a vial on the thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's cool flavor. I'll go with it. Go ahead and make
okay.
your attack roll.
A
That'll hit.
19. Okay.
All right. So roll that damage with the dagger.
Oh, terrible, but I get my sneak attack.
We'll add this together.
Okay, so that's 10 in total.
In total.
And then so that's just I don't want to do with the second dagger. I'm just going to pull the mouth open using said dagger, and if you allow me to pour the.
It's a poison attack, so I'm totally down. So she probably. What is the? Do you have a saving throw for that? I think it's 10, if I remember correctly. For
It
standard
is
poison.
so
But you have.
I'm using my potion of poison I have.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
If you drink it, you take 3d6 poison damage, and must succeed on a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or be poisoned.
That's funny. Okay, we're gonna go. Oh, she rolls a nat 20 on her save. Thankfully, it wasn't on an attack roll. Okay, so
No stress.
yeah, it's kind of it's slapdash done, but you do manage to get that dagger blade to at least to cause her to cry out in pain and wedge it into her jaw. As that happens, she
Yeah.
rolls on you just in time as you throw that vial, releasing it from your fingers. The liquid just spews out. She gets a good portion of it in her mouth, which causes her to gag. Hearing and smelling a night hag gagging is something you will probably remember for many years to come. But the poison does take effect as you see her body kind of crumple for a second. She makes
On a
this sound.
successful save, I can still have 1d6.
Okay.
Oh no, it decreases by 1d6, so 2d6 poison damage.
Okay, cool. So then
I'll roll
she'll
those
take.
if you want
Yeah,
me to.
go ahead. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so an extra 8. So 18 in total.
All right. Yeah, she starts hacking and coughing. That's gonna be your round. At the top of the round, one of the night hags that's on the ground that Flurbex was attacking, the one that fell and from the roof, screams out something in Infernal. For those of you who can speak it, she screams, "We're lost! We're lost! Flee! Flee, sisters!" And she is going to use her movement action to get up, and she can't plane shift, but she is going to retreat out of the alley. Who's the only person that's going to be between her and the retreat out of the alleyway is going to be, and it's technically not between, but Silvio, you are over there. But you're not blocking her path, but she intends to flee. So she's using her movement to start dashing towards the entry of the alleyway. This mist is just trailing after her. She doesn't turn back to attack or anything, but she looks like she is in a panic as she rushes out. And that is going to be her action. The next person is the one that just got poison stabbed, who is currently being ganged up on. She lets out a screech as well and screams something in Infernal. For those of you who can understand it, she's screaming, "Wait, sister, wait for me!" And she is going to attempt to, she's going to use her action to disengage.
Also, as soon as she moves 5 feet, booming blade damage.
Oh, that's funny. So she's still going to get smacked. So how much booming blade
Nice.
damage is that?
It's a 1d8.
1d8? Go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
Yep, because she is retreating. She's going to use her disengage action to duck away from all of you and try to bolt. 6 points, and it's magic, so she's going to take all of that. She's actually looking the most messed up right now. You're actually seeing the wounds, the darkened purpled blood starting to form around her. She ducks low and pushes past. She steps over the autognome and with these long legs, leaping, and then just starts to bolt towards the end of the alley. She's going to make it to about the end of the alley by the end of her round. Night Hag C, however, is in a lot more trouble because
she's the one that's prone beneath me, right?
Yeah, prone beneath you. She's got a rogue standing over her that is intent on murderizing her. She is going to. She can't actually get up. Wait, no, she's not grappled. So she's going to use her. She's going to use her movement action to stand up, and then her action to disengage. So she is going to move. She's not going to get to the end of the alley. She's not going to get to the end of the alley. She's going to get about 15 feet away from you guys as she scrambles to her feet and starts screeching and running. Nothing seems to be happening to them, by the way. They're reacting like, a gremlin being shown sunlight. But for some reason, you don't notice that any of them are actually experiencing anything horrible. They're just having some kind of panic about this mist.
Panic about the mist.
Yeah, which, by the way, at the end of her turn, at this point, all of you in the alley, including you, Silvio, at the edge of the alley, this mist, you're all starting to cough as it has just enveloped. Even you, Flurbex, you starting to notice that some of this mist is collecting inside of you. It has
This is
somehow made
rude.
its way into a lot of the air bubbles and has spread out into the interior. You notice that your interior, it's shifting colors for a moment into this glowing bluish
this
color.
is cool.
It's your action right now, Celine. Now,
Huh.
you are still in range if you want to get a smackdown on one of these hags, because they have not left the alley and they are within your movement range.
Oh, for sure. Is it affecting me at all as a
Yes.
paladin construct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, interesting.
You can see, in fact, the interior of your eyes, you're starting to see this glowing effect take place on you, and you can see it seeping and like in and out of all the crevices and joints, mechanisms in your arm.
Yeah, I'm gonna charge in. Is the last one who disengaged the closest still?
The two who are the closest are the ones you guys were beaten on, and the one that just got up and ran. They're basically the one that just got up and ran is the closest. But you could pick her or the one at the end of the alley because they're both within your movement range.
And the one at the end of the alley is the one I was attacking.
The one at the end of the alley is the one that you and Mimi were absolutely slapping around.
Yeah, I'm gonna go after her because I might be able to take her down, and I'm gonna use an inspiration if that's cool with the party.
Yep, might as well. We're getting close to the end here, so burn him. Smoke him if you got him.
Oops, nope.
All right.
Nope, hold on, it didn't. There we go.
What are you doing?
18.
That's a hit. Oh boy, roll
Cool.
damage. You might finally get what you've been wanting this entire game session, Jody.
Okay, and I'm gonna divine smite also.
Yep, divine smite. Here we go.
That's
At your full strength.
10 damage for that, and then shoot, I keep forgetting how much divine smite is.
I believe it's what spell slots you burn.
Yeah, but it's
Or
1d8. Or no,
oh.
it's 2d8 because
Yeah.
fiend.
I'm thinking of divine strike, which is a spell yeah, it's not the innate ability. Sorry. 2d8.
Come on.
4 points of damage.
That's 14 total.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? It was booming blade again. So if she keeps moving, she'll take it.
She is going to keep moving.
1d8. So,
Okay.
Cool.
So what frustrates that righteous paladin heart of yours, Celine, is that second strike as the radiant energy just like slices down the back part of her body as she is fleeing. You can tell she is getting pretty close to death's door. The wounds that you and Mimi have caused to her just like over the past couple of rounds have worn her down. But that divine smite, you can see the vaporous white flame just ignite around the wound before it is extinguishing, instantly causing this cauterized holy burn across her back. And she lets out a screech that can be heard from blocks away as she is running away from you at full speed.
The sound of righteousness.
I love the smell of righteousness in the morning. That's going to be your action. So it is now Teek's action.
Is Teek affected at all by this mist? He's been airborne and stealthing.
You don't think so?
Okay, but Teek definitely sees how Celine has been going after that one particular hag. So I think this is a dive bomb scenario.
Excellent.
Of going for that one hag. We're gonna do this ranged melee attack at it. You know, monk
Okay.
flight, monk quick.
All right, let's see it.
All right. Oh my god. How much inspiration do we have left as a party? Just one?
You have 1 point left.
Can I use that?
Party is down.
If the party's down, can I use that to try to get the attack?
Spent. All right. So go ahead. Make that roll.
I knew this wasn't gonna.
So Teek.
I knew this wasn't gonna be my game. I knew it.
Sure enough, like Teek, you get down there for the attack. When you reach the end of it and you try to swoop down on this night hag, It's a
Okay.
combination of the mist making it very difficult to pinpoint precisely where she is as it kind of swirls around her. You manage to get close, but not close enough. But what really strikes you is as you start pulling away, you begin to realize that mist is just trailing off of your wings.
Oh, I'm not pulling away.
Okay.
No, we dive bombed into this. I'm spending a key point
Okay.
because all it is that I have to take the attack action. I don't have to hit.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So I'm spending a key point to do 2 more unarmed strikes. This
Okay.
is so petty. This is
One of them.
This,
One of them's got to hit. Just
them
keep
has
playing the
to.
numbers.
The
Yep.
paladin
I know, right?
approves. This is righteous, Petty.
Yep.
Okay. And I have one per. You know what? No, I'm not going to spend a plot point on an enemy that's almost dead. I am not that.
I know you're
petty.
angry, but resist.
I know, right? Okay. Because I have two unarmed strikes, and I'm gonna roll for those.
Okay.
I don't have to spend this plot point. Universe, right? Okay, let's do this. I mean, I have my Yukulwa. Nah, let's do unarmed strike.
Okay.
Gotta work this time. Oh my god. All right.
So for those of you who
I'm gonna-
aren't seeing Markia's rolls at home, so far Markia's highest roll in the past 3 dice rolls has been a 9. So it's not working out too well.
Okay. So
this one is an 8, so it aspired to be more, but it didn't quite get there.
all right, I have one more unarmed strike
I
left.
believe in you.
I'm gonna use my last personal inspiration point
Okay, to roll with advantage.
to do this one at advantage.
Okay, wait for it.
You got this. You got this. You got this. You got
Oh
Wait
this.
for it.
So. Oh
And
my god! What was that?
You rolled a 9 and a 5.
It literally rolled off of a 19, and I saw it roll into that 9. Okay,
And
but this is with advantage.
9 plus your modifier.
This is with advantage.
Mm-hmm. $10 plus 5.
I should have used my plot point.
Yeah, that's not going to hit. Sorry. The
Wow.
night hag is.
That was some real bad luck. Just
That was
Oh
some.
my
That was
God.
a stream
No.
of unfortunate rolls.
Teak is just interested in the pastries.
Yeah.
The hags are running down the alleyway in the direction of the hidden pastries with the rock, and Teak is just like, oh my
Okay.
god, they're gonna hit, and so you're distracted looking at the pastries instead.
Wabbajack Wagon just donated an inspo for Teak.
Typically for Teague. Look, if the community is gonna pull that, I'm gonna go ahead and say if you would like to
more
roll
roll.
another d20,
You
I
got
will
this, you got
allow
this, you
it
got
one
this.
last time as reality warps.
Thank
And
you,
thank
Wabbajack.
you. We're
Thank
gonna
you, Wabbajack.
it's not a typical thing in D&D, but like honestly, just helping a player out here. And Wabbajack was being very kind, so I'm gonna go for it. Thank you, Wabbajack. Go ahead and make a roll
Okay. This is the one.
because
This is
we're
the
about to
one.
wrap up, and I don't want to deprime you. And you roll
Ah!
a nat 20.
Nat 20! The power
nat
of giving.
20,
Wabbajack.
you're gonna crit this thing. All right.
Thank you, Wabbajack.
Excellent. All right, roll damage, please. And don't forget to right click and roll that it is critical damage.
Okay.
It'll crit damage for you.
Awesome. I think it already. It kind of.
Oh, it might have already done it. Yeah, I think that's true. I think it already updates it.
Okay. So
2d4 plus 3, total of 9
That-
damage.
plus, remember I get the 1d6 of force damage.
Right. Go ahead and roll it.
Oh, I did. Sorry, the 4 counts, not the other ones.
Okay, so 4 plus just 4.
Yeah, what I had plus that 4.
Okay.
So
You
13.
managed
I got
to get in some
happy.
hits. You managed to land a solid cracking blow against the back of this night hag. You can hear the bones popping underneath the fist impact. This astral fist just like slamming into the back of this creature. That's going to be the end of your round. She's still standing, but oh boy, that messed her up good. Flurbex, you are technically prone.
Yeah, I guess so. I was wondering about that. I was like,
Yep.
it doesn't say anything that plasmoids aren't immune to being prone. Even though I'm
Ironically,
just a
yeah.
gelatinous
Ironically,
ooze.
no, you're not.
Just like how would I be prone?
Yeah.
Anyway, so who's around me and who's still standing? There's one that's 15 feet away because she had to use half a movement to stand up.
Right. That's the
There's one that's
closest to
30
you.
feet away.
And then the next person, the absolute closest person to you is actually Noctis right now, who's standing over you with this darkened, blackened blood just dripping off of her daggers.
Okay. And am I getting the impression that we're like the one who just stood up and ran away is like on death's door, or she's still got a couple
No,
of
she
hits
looks
now?
like the only one that is actually looking quite punished is the one that everyone's been dogpiling, the one that's currently
Okay.
glowing with fairy fire.
All right. Well, let's keep one of these here in case we need to do any interrogations, shall we say, next time. So I'm going to stand up, as it were, slop on over to the one that just started to get away, and I'm going to try and grapple her so that she can't keep running.
Okay, go ahead and make your check.
Oh, she didn't roll with advantage. My bad. So it's either an 8 or a not roll. Even with a +2 and advantage, got an 8 total.
She's going to shrug that off.
Oh well, I'm in melee with her at least, so she still has to disengage.
Amazingly,
if
they have an
necessary.
18. Just kind of easily shrugs that away.
Yeah.
All right. Noctis, I believe that's going to be the end of your round for that. Is that right? Just kind of rush up there and try to grab her.
That's the end of my turn.
All right, Noctis, you see them getting away. It looks like they're going to get out of the alleyway at the end of this turn. This weird mist has just enveloped all of you. It's still swirling around you. At this point, you've been breathing it in, and it's amazing how quickly it's moving.
Do I feel really any like effect on me apart from just noticing its like presence?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
See if you see the subtleties.
No.
You're not sure what it is, Noctis, but you do feel strange. Not necessarily bad. Doesn't feel painful or anything, but you definitely feel this strange sensation. Looking at your hands and the world around you, it almost feels like there is a second image transposed over the world that you see, that you're becoming aware of, or maybe buried underneath. But as you're blinking through it for a second, it's hard to tell if that's just an effect of the mist. It's in your eyes. It's hard to tell if that's you getting dizzy, or maybe you're on the verge of a panic attack. You're not sure. So it's definitely different, though. It wasn't there before.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I don't think that I am gonna waste my time trying to go after these two that are fleeing.
Mhm.
I want information.
Okay.
From this one that is like on the ground, glittering, struggling.
Oh, she got up and ran, but there is remnants of the thing that shattered that was in her pouch still laying at your feet.
Okay.
That much is
Can
there,
I-
but she used her action to get up and bolt and get away from you guys. So
Okay.
all three of them are about to escape.
Let me see. All right. Okay. Then I think I'm not gonna go after them. I'm gonna pick up this thing that's on the ground and figure it out.
Okay. If you want, I'll let
Right.
you make an investigation check real quick.
Okay. Okay. No.
Oh no. So you squat down and take a look at this, and unfortunately, because it's 3:50, we're gonna have to wrap out and pause here. But as you squat down and pick up some of these pieces, you have no idea what this is, but it's not glass. As you're holding it, it doesn't look like it. This is broken glass. It almost looks like some kind of precious stone that's broken open. Because as you hold it up, anybody knows precious stones and their worth. It's the rogue in the party. And as you hold them to the light, the mist that drifts around you seems to coil around your fingers, almost like it's responding to it. And all of your friends, as you glance up through this piece of broken, precious gemstone, you see your friends all looking back at you. But they're not. They're still facing the direction or chasing after the hags, but this second transparent form seems to be lingering around each of them, particularly vibrant in teak. It seems to be glowing and brilliant, but also less transposed over their body. Instead, it feels like it's more outlined over Teague. You don't know what's happening to you right now, Noctis, but one thing is for sure, you're seeing something that's not natural, and this mist has to be playing a role in it. We have to stop there because we're at our 350 point. We have to bookmark it. So that was the boss fight that got activated by our our audience.
Thanks, Webberjack, for just
Thanks, everybody.
dictating
Thanks, Webberjack,
what second episode was.
Funny thing was about that though is one of these instances of combining the encounter table roll, the boss fight, and the mystery for the day all managed to wrap up quite well into a single encounter. So when we come back next week, we're going to find out what the heck this mist is all about and what's going on with it. And we might actually resolve. I mean, the fight technically isn't over. Rain and Silvio and Mimi still got some actions to take. So we hope you will join us next Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, same as always. Thank you so much for all the incredible donations today and your contributions to the game and helping the players and supporting GaryCon Live. We hope we'll see you next Sunday. Until then, take care.